Hello, folks. Welcome to the Nateland podcast. I'm Nate Bargatze, Brian Bates, Aaron Weber. We are here. This is the Halloween episode. Halloween. Pretty fun. Mm-hmm. Fall is here, and it is time to get cozy around the fire with Solo Stove. Shop their fall event now at solostove.com. Get an extra $10 off when you use promo code Nate at checkout. They even offer a lifetime warranty and a 30-day free return policy. Solostove.com. Promo code Nate. Also, thank you to our good friends at Viore for sponsoring this episode of Nateland. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at Viore.com/Nate. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but you will enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75. Mm-hmm. I love Halloween, and we're going to talk about Halloween. And so these are the comments. A lot of this stuff is being shot a little. The Halloween episode we had a card malfunction, so when you see the whole episode, it's just kind of shot different. But I'm kind of excited to see it because it'll be different. I like change. I'm not afraid of change. Love it. Might be changing y'all up.
Would you switch the whole setup in here in any?
I would switch y'all. I think I'd keep this room. I'd keep the room the same. I think I would just change this situation. Yeah, the co-host. That's easy stuff, easy things to move. So now I could see. I don't know. I mean, I guess I guess it's a little different because you got to think about like the comfortableness of watching this show, and so I wouldn't change like the setup. I think because of that. I mean, I would change that. Maybe there could be some stuff up there that gets kind of added, or some of the pictures could change. I would be down for that. But I kind of like something being the same. But I think that's just because it's this. I'm not against change for, I can change cars. I can change. You're not a change.
I don't do as well change as I should.
Yeah. We should still have, what's his name? This is the coach, the Titans, the lineman, the guy that played at Penn State or something.
Oh, Mike Munchak?
Yeah. Is it the Brian? We should have Mike Munchak as the coach. He didn't love any of the changes. Let it ride.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't do well with change. I'm just one of them. You're laughing like I got a problem.
Yeah. No, it's just funny the way you said that. You said it with like a deep sorrow in your voice. I think
change is good. Most people know that, but it's just hard to do it.
Yeah. But you got to just change. But I mean, you rearrange your apartment?
No. Well, I mean, I live in a house with my wife, but no, I never. Once I set it up, I never think about it again.
Yeah, you just like it to all be there. See, I think my family, we used to rearrange everything, and I mean, we'd come home and it was always like the rooms are different, everything's different. It was just exciting though. I always loved it. You come home and you're like, my parents would switch where the kitchen was because we had this small house. And then it was basically a 2-bedroom home. And then they had to make it 3 bedrooms. And so one bedroom is either going to be in the kitchen or it's going to be in like the den. Yeah. And so their bedroom was in the den. And then one day they come home, it's all in the kitchen. And then it's like it feels like a different room. Mm-hmm. And I've always loved that.
So there's a chance we show up one day and this is all in the garage.
I mean, the only difference of, I don't know. The only difference with a show is like a show can't really do that because you can't. I think people are watching it and you need them to get used to. Everybody's got to get used to seeing, like Seinfeld. If you watch Seinfeld and he had a new apartment, you'd be like, well, that's weird.
That's true.
So that's a little different than I think what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if we could change our, now houses are kind of the rooms are built for what they are. We were in a very small house growing up, and so. I think you had to do it just because you had to do it, and so now it's a little different. But I'm for change. I'm for mixing it up. I can get a little bored with something. I want to just be. It could be the way I set the bus up. I'll be like, I'm gonna try this, and then I had these shelves put in, and then I think we're gonna take them out now. And by we, Ricky, this is how Ricky finds out. Rick, I need those shelves removed. No, but like I like that kind of little change here and there. It's good.
Yeah.
Mix it up. This episode, we're doing comments separate from Mike Vecchione is on this episode of Halloween, right?
Yes.
Mike. And it was wonderful with Mike. and we will talk about Mike when he's here. And if you see stuff kind of shot, kind of piece by piece going forward, we're trying to keep it will always be here, keeping the rhythm. Just bear with us if you're seeing us have different outfits on and stuff like that, because the road has been crazy. I'm still going out to see all y'all, and then this week this comes out. We were in. The day it comes out.
Yeah, we'll be doing Nashville shows.
Yeah.
Crazy week.
Yeah, crazy week. Grand Ole Opry, Ryman, and then Columbus, Ohio.
Right.
2 shows, Columbus.
Right.
Big week. It's a big week. Mm-hmm. Pretty excited. Robert Minion. It's a tough last name. Minion is not.
Doesn't sound good.
Doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it's not flattering.
Yeah. Nate might want to know that there are over 100,000 words in the English language. However, people typically use between 20 to 40,000 when they write and only about 8,000 when they speak. Please don't ask my source on this.
How many do you think you use?
50.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. 50 words.
Yeah. I do pretty good out of them.
Yeah. I would like to take a transcript of one of your specials and do like a word cloud and see how many different types of words you did. I'll do that.
You got to listen to it all? How do you do it?
You can there's transcripts of it online already, I'm sure, that have it beat for beat. And you can see, what do you think the most common word in your last special was?
I would say like.
Yeah.
Just because I'm using it like or so, or some of that stuff is like you're using it for the rhythm, because it's like a song. So,
right. Yeah. Not good or bad. I'm just saying, you probably do more than 50, probably 100.
Look up a special. That would be great if it's like 60. See if you can figure it out. Don't tell me until
60 words.
Tell me on the podcast.
I'll look into it.
See if it's better than, because I bet there's going to be an argument that some of those, you could argue 3 of them are not even words. What if a good 20 are not? There's 20 words in here that are not, they're your own words.
They're not real words.
Not they count as my words. Yeah. Luke Lumen. Nateland is a podcast about nothing. Aaron Land is a podcast correcting Nateland's mistakes. I can see Breakfast starting a podcast about bird watching.
I'm all for that. I could see that too.
Yeah.
I took my dog for a walk today. Saw a couple of blue jays. Checked them out. I could get into bird watching.
You like it?
Yep.
Have you ever done it? Peaceful? Like hiked out in the woods and just...
No, he just looks like it.
Yeah. You know who's a big bird watcher now? Joe Zimmerman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like in a, I think, society or something.
Yeah.
He got into it during COVID, and I think he goes to Central Park and like the whole shebang.
Yeah. I guess because they're telling you like which birds are rare, and so you're looking for the rare ones.
I guess.
So it's kind of fun. I could see it. I don't think I'm to that age yet, but I bet I'm not far.
Yeah.
Dusty Slay does it?
Well. I used to eat them. Joshua Dawes. Nate is absolutely right about flipping let's go to get rid of it. I have a 9-year-old son who I only called bro for a month, including during a parent-teacher conference, and now he doesn't use any bro anymore. It only took 2 weeks of enthusiastically yelling, let's go, in response to his questions before it was eradicated at our house. Having an old guy really embrace the lingo is the quickest way to make it not cool anymore. So if you and Aaron can get backgammon to really embrace it, we can end it forever. You need to be a let's go guy.
All right, I'll start doing it.
Yeah.
Kids, let's go. Yeah.
Randy Brake. Randy Brake. I mean, he's got to work in a
I was about to say
works
a mechanic or something.
You got to be a mechanic. Randy, don't let us down and be
scientist.
Yeah. My friend and I played a drinking game where we took a shot every time Nate said the word yeah. I'll be honest with you. So far, it seems good that you're working in a mechanic shop. My friend exploded, and I woke up in Japan. Loved your relaxed Southern style, and Brian and Aaron are perfect co-hosts. Thank you all for my new favorite podcast. I mean, there better have been some cars around you, or at least know Randy Brake. It would be very funny if he's like, I'm a secretary. Like, ooh, never saw that coming. He's probably young.
Why do you think that? Because he's playing drinking games with his friends?
I mean, it'd be great. He's 65 years old. I mean, he's either young or it's past.
Or it's just a problem.
Or he's good. Or Randy's a good time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. his friend exploded and he woke up in Japan. I've never heard. That's two amazing things to say after a long night. Mm-hmm. My friends exploded and I woke up in Japan, and then you walk off and people go, what? Garen Barna. This is Holly. In 2010, I was given a partly used $5 iTunes gift card by my aunt and was just getting into stand-up comedy. I bought Nate's stand-up special on a whim and was blown away. I took my iPod Touch to school that week and showed everyone I could the Cambodia rocket launcher joke. And now, 10 years later, I'm listening to this podcast. Finding Nate through a partly used $5 iTunes gift card from my aunt is a fitting way to get into his comedy. I started a new job as a principal this week, and the long drive has been made so much better by listening to Nate, Aaron, and Bob Berry. Bowberry biscuit. Is that it?
I mean, that's what this
is. That a thing?
I don't know.
Bowberry biscuit. That's a great name. You
call someone
Bowberry. You call someone Bowberry biscuit?
A Bowberry biscuit.
Oh, Bojangles.
Bojangles. I'm gonna go down there and get me a Bowberry biscuit every morning. Thanks for the laugh, folks. That's awesome. I truly appreciate that. That's cool. Look at that.
Aaron used to do that.
Here they are
on his way home from cutting the grass.
Oh yeah, I didn't buy Nate's album though. I'd download that illegally, but I bought music.
You did buy. You would listen to music, not comedy.
I do remember seeing it when I was young at my grandmother's house. She had cable and I didn't. I do remember seeing you in a promo for your first. Must have been your first Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Remember the joke about being from Tennessee and the other states?
Yeah.
I remember that joke when I was a kid watching that on TV.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. Wow.
And then but not enough.
Grew up and met him.
Not enough for me to buy it, but.
Yeah. Never bought it. That's cool. Remember.
Do you remember me?
First time I saw Bates on TV.
Channel 5.
Channel 4.2.
This would be Channel 5 during his weather thing.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't on there.
Your weather?
That was just a class.
Raleigh Foreigner. Isn't that like the runner? Isn't there a running back name with that last name? Fournier?
Forte? Matt Forte?
Maybe I'm thinking of Forte.
Maybe.
But I thought, what's the running back in that played at LSU and then went to
Leonard Fournette.
Fournette.
Yeah.
Not close.
I would say Fournier for this.
Fournier.
Maybe. That'd be my
Riley
guess.
Fournier. While I was having a nap in my bed wearing just shorts and no shirt, my 6-year-old daughter grabbed my phone and took some pictures of me. I had no idea this happened until a couple of days later when I was at the auto parts shop. Was Randy Blake there? I had taken a picture of my VIN number on my truck to make sure I was getting the right battery size. Instead of reading the long number off, I just passed my phone with the picture to the woman at the parts counter. She smiled while looking at the picture, entered the number, and handed the phone back to me. When I looked again at my phone, I could see the previous photos which were of me with my shirt off, looking like I was posing for the camera. I don't know if she thought that whole thing was intentional or not, but I was definitely a little embarrassed. Gave it to her. I wonder if she did.
Maybe.
Did Harper ever? I do always think that, huh?
Did Harper ever take pictures of you when she was little and you didn't know it?
Probably. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't.
You can at least easily understand how that happened.
Yeah. They think it's funny, and and you don't see your phone. I mean, my pictures. I talked about it on the special. I got videos of Harper that they make, and it goes to my iCloud.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bunch of stuff on there that I don't see. But I do. Yeah, I totally get that. That would totally happen.
Yeah.
Tom Seitz. Nate, would you be willing to share what your TV pilot's plots were based on? I have a TV pilot for you based on Nate's joke about time travel. Similar to Quantum Leap, Nate gets stuck in a time travel loop in order to prevent some crisis from happening. Each episode is Nate trying to prove he is from the future, but nobody believes him. So the ABC one was a real, basically Everybody Loves Raymond. And it was with Kurtwood Smith and Deborah Jo. They're bringing them back to that 70s show.
Yeah, I heard that.
They're in 90s Rebate. So we were on the right path because that's what we had them as my parents. That one was like I was living back in Nashville. My wife would have been from LA. and we met in L.A. So I mean, Laura, I met in Alabama, but the idea there would have been so she moved back to Nashville and I moved home, and that's that one. The time travel thing, I can tell you, I pitched it as a show along. I don't remember when. You remember the 2000? It was probably 14, 15.
Yeah, sounds right.
I actually sold it as this. I sold it as a script, wrote the script, and it was right when that other time travel thing came out. It was a show that came out briefly on Fox, and I was up against them. And I remember selling it, and I like they're gonna pick like who's gonna make a pilot, and it was and I was like, does this one matter that they're because it was just like. What are the odds, dude? We're both going to the same network and we're both pitching a time travel show. And I was like, is this going to matter? And they were always like, nah, I don't think so. And you're like, there's no way. And it was the guys that did Last Man on Earth, whoever, they did all the Lego movies. They were a huge company. And so they ended up making their show and then mine didn't. And then they own the rights to it. 20th Century Fox owns your script. So if I did it again and pitched it, it would have to be different. And I don't want to say what it was because I think I could do it as a movie.
Yeah.
That's the only other way around it. But so I always have that idea. So I mean, yes, it is a good idea, Tom. I'm a fan of it.
Did that other show go very long?
What?
The other time travel?
No, it was like Back in Time or
never heard of
something. I actually did, I'll tell you, I didn't really have a ton of time travel. I did have time travel on my show, but it wasn't a lot. It would have been I had it being 2 times. I'm already telling y'all all. I was a caterpillar. Jake Peterson. Hello, folks. I recently had my own version of the Krispy Kreme challenge. One night after a few drinks with friends, I suggested I could eat 4 double quarter pounders from McDonald's in under 15 minutes. My friends immediately challenged me, and when I finally attempted it, I could only eat 3 in 10 minutes. My stomach could not handle a 4th. Would love to hear how many double quarter pounders Aaron thinks he could eat.
It's the time restriction that would mess with me. I'm not a good speed eater.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I just sat down and just let me make a day out of this, I could eat 7 or 8, no problem.
Yeah. So I would say if you're doing something like this, don't throw a timeout. That's where people go wrong. Like this guy, so he learned he could do 3 in 10, which is crazy.
3 in 10 is
But he could have done 4 in 30 minutes.
Yeah, half an hour, no problem.
And then it would have been easy. And so it's like, I almost would be like, I wouldn't, what I've learned from hearing some stories is we're quick to give times out because we think I'll do it in 15 minutes. Like and you got to give yourself a little, go hard on the number and give yourself a little loose ending just to be like in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I think I disagree. I think the more time passes, then your stomach catches up with you and you start realizing you're full. Where if you do it speed, you can do more because you don't even realize yet that you're full.
Yeah, but he did 3 in 10 minutes. That's too quick. And then that's like, you're going to get sick. So like you just eat it, and then you can eat the other one. Just give yourself a little, like he could probably said 20 minutes and probably done 4. You would eat it still fast, but I mean 3 in 10 is fast.
Yeah.
And I think that's just too quick.
I understand your point for sure. Like
you got to realize your body knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Like those hot dog eating champions, I bet they couldn't eat however many they eat over 2 hours.
Oh, I bet they could.
I
bet
they're
could.
trained. They train for
maybe
that.
them, but
this is a guy who was drunk and sitting in a car, probably driving. I don't know.
He was with Randy Brake.
He goes, "I'll do it." Yeah, maybe it was Jake and Randy. They should get together. What's he talking about?
Yeah, this is the guy that woke up in Japan.
Yeah. This was his Japan. Jonathan Fisher. Hey guys, in the comments last week, you talked about faster cuts in film TV. Do you also find there are faster cuts you need to make in your sets? Robin Williams seemed like he got faster cuts way early and was almost consumed like a newly released drug by the audience. Even if it wasn't the funniest, most prepared thing, you were still going on a roller coaster of transitions from one impression to the other. Nate's delivery, conversely, was a breath of fresh air because he takes his time in jokes, even when he is talking a little faster. Do any of the three of you feel pressure to have a faster or maybe slower rhythm? I'm kind of going through this right now, actually. And I'm trying to make myself slow down. Some of it's, I almost think I'm getting more Southern again because I'm back home. And so I'm like, I got to make sure that people can hear these words. And so I'm trying to go a little bit slower. And so I've caught myself. But the hard part is like if you have a joke that you're like, I am not positive about this joke, then I'm going to speed it up a little bit just because I don't want to be left out there. I don't want to go super slow. If it's a joke that you're like, well, if you really think about this joke, y'all are going to realize it's stupid. And so, and you have some speed up moments. I'm having more speed. I'm getting a little more like, speed up could, a little more emotion shown, I guess. Not really animation. But I've weirdly have been thinking, I thought of it just the last show I did. I thought, let me slow down. And, it's like, all right. Like I've always had that kind of quick, like it was in New York. It was like, well, you got to murder. You have 5 minutes and these people hate you. So you got to go up and be like, everything's good. And you got to stay on top of them. I stayed on top of the crowd one night recently because they felt a little drunk and they felt kind of party and all this. If I'd have been too slow there, they're going to yell. They just yell stuff. So you kind of feel a little fast. Some of it's just the crowd. You got to figure out like, all right, I need to stay on top of these people and kind of always be talking, or they're going to kind of unravel and start yelling stuff. And then sometimes you can be like, all right, I can slow it down. This crowd's into the show. That's what I believe.
Yeah, and to his point, shorter attention spans because everything's quicker cuts in TV can sometimes lead to shorter attention spans in comedy.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably at the point now with your audience. I mean, you just said are still examples where you still have to get on top of them.
Yeah, but my speeding up is just to put more jokes in. So it's like even when I tell a story, there's not that I don't really leave a lot of space. Like I mean, everything you're saying is kind of there's a laugh. So I try to do that. So that's where I feel sped up. But I can sometimes talk too quick too. And some of it's you got to figure out the rhythm of what you're trying to say. It's interesting. Now this new set, I would say I do an hour, but I would say I have 40. I would say 40, 45. That's like I'm like this is good. And then the other stuff is like some of it's fine, and I mean I think it's fine. It's like, but I can just look at places where I'm like I need to work on a couple things, and you can feel, and some of that is rhythm. It's a different thing when you get into theaters. I mean, it's so different. When we do theaters, it's like a different feel. The laugh is different. It's longer. It goes farther back. The pacing is different. When you're at a comedy club, everybody's kind of real close. It's opposite of that. You don't feel like you have time because you almost feel embarrassed. Like you start like, so you're like, I got to just stay on these people. In a theater, it's a show. And it feels like that, Yeah.
No, yeah. I completely agree.
I mean, I didn't know if y'all had anything,
No, I mean, I totally agree with you. When we did that arena in Mississippi, Tupelo, that was even a different vibe because it's so much bigger.
Yeah, with Leanne Morgan.
Yeah.
She's out on tour now. Yeah, it's with you. You're going out. And then, it's a whole different, that's even because the laughers is different. I was talking to someone about arenas and I was talking to Dorfman, Zany's, own Zany's. Me and Dorfman are close, and we were talking about this. And he was like saying like arenas. I want to do arenas just because you do, but then it's also like I get the idea that they're not. It maybe isn't the greatest thing, but but it's like you do want to do like I want to do Bridgestone in Nashville. I want to do Madison Square Garden, Chicago, kind of the places I started.
Yeah.
Where I'm from would be very cool.
Yeah, that would
to
be
get
awesome.
to do those. But I always look at everything. Look, I got to try it and see what it feels like, and you could decide if you like it or don't like it from there. But yeah, I think you want to be like, I did this
for sure.
Yeah,
definitely. I've done a couple. I've opened for people at arenas, and the experience of it is like awesome. But it's just, I always think comedy's better smaller. At least I'm more comfortable when it's smaller. So the bigger it was, I didn't have much fun on stage. As cool as it was,
Yeah.
I couldn't get in the pocket.
I would do in the round.
I've never done a show in the round.
I love the in the round. And so if I did an arena, I would want to do in the round. And because it's like then everybody feels you're closer to a lot more people.
Yeah.
And so you at least pull them in and stuff like that.
See, the one I did, they were so far away in the back. They're hundreds of yards away.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Who was it with?
With Chris in Minneapolis.
Yeah. Brett Loeb, Laub. I'm a pilot for a commercial airline, and I recently have been told no more saying ladies and gentlemen because some may be offended. I now say, hello, folks. I'm hoping one day one of y'all may be in the back and realize he just said hello, folks, and come up to the cockpit and say hi.
That's awesome.
You want to just walk up to that cockpit? No, he said hello, folks. So I need to get in there.
Tapping on the door.
Just banging on the door. Let's go, folks. Just yelling that out as you're just getting thrown off the plane. I mean, when he's going to announce it, it's like when you're about to take off. Hello, folks. Doors shut. Can't get up. Love you guys swing by the cockpit while we're on the descent and maybe, let's go, folks. Just yell it out.
Getting restrained by air marshals.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You're on a list. Let's go, folks. And you just see him. He just opens his little window and he goes, hello, folks. Just yells out that little side window.
Brett.
I'd wonder what's the highest they can open that window, on a plane, your pilot. When do you have to shut it?
What window?
The window in the thing,
little side window?
Side window slides.
He's talking about once they carry you off the plane where you could see the plane.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm saying like when you take off, does it have to be shut? Like, can you 10,000 feet be like, all right, let's shut that window?
Like the Wi-Fi once it gets below 10,000?
Yeah.
I think you got to shut it before 10,000 feet, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, let's try it.
I mean,
Brett, let us know, honestly.
Yeah, Brett, let us know how we're supposed to say hi to you. We won't announce it. So everybody goes, there's a little key above the door. That's what he tells us. It's right above the code is always 1, 2, 3, 4. Just come on in whenever you want.
It's funny, like Southwest is so cheap because the pilots crack the windows to save on AC.
That's the drag, like just slowing down, hair blowing. Matt Gable. My kids are having a sleepover with their cousins tonight at our house. From downstairs, I heard my 7-year-old son, Parker, on a microphone saying he thought I looked like his elderly wife with no shirt on at a car he didn't recognize. I think me and Olivia could both have a word with him. As you can imagine, I couldn't contain my laughter and had to go see what was happening. Come to find out, they were having their own talent show. Parker says he wants to be a comedy guy like Nate, but his cousins only gave him 2.5 out of 10 with the Olivia joke. Learning the basics of bombing early. I tell you what, Parker, I think you killed it. And that joke was great. And your cousins, what did they do? I don't know if they had. You brought the heat, Parker. And that is.
They did RX.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, did they do Bowberry biscuits and Andrew? I think you did great, Parker. And he told everything. That's how the joke goes. Keep doing it, buddy. That's what you got to do. You learn the basics of, tight rooms. And you learn to get through these sets. And then you do it. It's going to come, and you're going to come around. Me and you be working together one day. I'll be open for you, Parker, at an arena going, I don't think I would do this. Chris Minat. I don't know. Minat. Doesn't sound as fun as Minette.
Yeah.
My wife and daughter were recently in Nashville. I said, go by Zany's and get a picture next to Nate's mural pic. I was never more disappointed when this is what they texted me. If you can see the zone, this is a picture of Tom Segura. And they're standing next to him. That's so great. I texted it to Tom.
Do you ever get mistaken?
For Tom?
Yeah.
No, no one's ever said it. I mean, they always say we kind of sound alike and stuff like that, but I've never been called Tom.
I can see that with the beard.
Yeah, with the beard and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I know he makes fun of Bert being fat, but I think I'm in better shape than Tom. I should be, right? And he goes, I need to go up. I need to go stare at him with his shirt off. I'm going to go meet Tom and be like, let's take her shirt off, buddy. Let's see, pound for pound, what are we looking at? He's like a big dude. I mean, not a big dude, but he's a football player. Like, he was a big dude. A strong guy. But yeah, I texted Tom. He loved it. It was very funny. All right. All right, everybody. Thank you. This week. That's the Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So here's the Halloween episode with Mike Vecchione. Halloween's a wonderful, wonderful holiday. I hope you guys have a great Halloween. It's the funnest. If you're a kid, when you have kids, nothing better than Halloween. Have fun. And here goes the Halloween episode. We are ready to get into fall because we like the cooler. I think I said cooler wrong. Cooler nights and enjoy a nice fire with our friends and family, making s'mores over our solo stove, watching Titans football, Vandy football. The solo stove has been so much better than any fire pit I've been around ever. Not only, I mean, it's because you're not smelling like campfire is so great. Usually when you get home from enjoying time outside with friends or family, you have to immediately shower off the smell, not with solo stove. I mean, campfire smell drives me nuts. And this, you do not get it. There's no setup. You unbox and enjoy a little fire starter wood, and you can have a nice fire quickly. We have the bonfire version with stand. It is small enough to take to the front or the back, or even if we go to the lake with our family, we can easily take it there. It burns down to white ash, so cleanup is super easy. Solo stove creates great times without the fireside fumes. That's such the most important part. So little smoke, you will wonder how there is so much fire. The fire looks awesome too. It is easy to keep lit and even easier to clean. Solo stove fire pits are portable and built to last. It looks great too. They are so confident you will love it. They offer a lifetime warranty and a 30-day free return policy. Get the perfect fire pit for those fall nights and make your backyard a destination with a spectacular fire pit from Solo Stove. Shop the fall event now and get an extra $10 off when you use promo code Nate at checkout. They are so confident you will love it. They offer a lifetime warranty and a 30-day free return policy. Just go to solostove.com and remember, you get $10 off when you use promo code Nate. Viore is a new outlook on performance apparel. Perfect if you're sick and tired of traditional old workout gear. I have the Sunday performance joggers. I'm wearing them all the time. Basically all the time, except outside of doing a show. I have those and I have the core shorts. Both are very comfortable. Large got the Halo Performance Jogger and the Halo Performance Hoodie. And I think she's wore it all the time. Everything is designed to work out in, but does not look or feel like just workout clothes, which I love. It's so comfortable. You want to wear it all the time. That's what makes it great. They make it look, in everyday life. You can wear it to the gym. People wearing it. I mean, you've seen everybody wearing athletic gear everywhere. This stuff looks great all the time. With Viore, you can look nice, feel great, and run errands. Ordering online is very easy. The website is not cluttered. Very easy to pick styles and color options. And everything has a great fit to it. Do yourself a favor and get your own Viore. I truly love Viore. Viore is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at viore.com/Nate. That is VUORI.com/Nate. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to viore.com/Nate and discover Viore clothing like we did. We are here once again with Mike Vecchione.
Thank you guys for having me back.
Yeah. Change the jacket. Yeah. His other jacket's just in that other room. So is mine is too. I like this.
He just broke the fourth wall, Nate, of the podcast. I
mean, Aaron's got an Aaron Lynn shirt. Aaron went downstairs and put that on. Breakfast.
One thing I did different was actually spilled water on me. I think it's about dried now, but
that's it.
That's it.
Still same shirt.
Brian, I think a good thing to say when someone calls you the wrong thing is to go, put some respect on my name.
Yeah.
Put some respect on my name.
Put some respect on my name.
Some respect
I would love that's as aggressive as you can get right there. You can't.
I think the only reason he can't do it is because when he does it, they will push his face away with their hand because they feel no threat. And they would go.
Andre the Giant me.
Yeah. Yeah. Get out of here.
But isn't that a cool thing to say?
Yeah, that's what I tell his daughter, and she's like, "No, you're Bob Ripple Pants."
yeah. Nate Barrel.
Doesn't work.
Bob Ripple Pants, such a good name.
Mm.
That's kind of how it started, I think. Too was the Bob. We talked about, it was like my daughter and Maya.
Yeah.
They started calling him Bob Ripple Pants, which is a great name.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you kicked me under the table
Yeah.
for something. Like
Yeah.
Bob Ripple Pants.
Pants, huh?
We know what I'm talking about.
Hey,
right?
Mike,
I'm
why
like,
don't you
"Actually, I
bring
don't."
something to the show?
Hmm.
No, that's the only thing I was talking about. So this episode we're going to talk about Halloween, and the title's probably Halloween. You know, I probably don't ever need to say what we're talking about, but it's hard not to.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
moment, and
It's
so
almost like the discussion is in a disguise. Halloween.
yeah.
What's going with the theme here?
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do 2 recordings. All right. So here's the first one. What's up, everybody? We got Mike Vecchione, Halloween episode. Mike, quiet down. Don't say anything. Hey, what's up, everybody? Me, Aaron, Brian only doing the Halloween episode. All right. Let's just see how this feels. I got 2 different options to use. Vecchione died, everybody. During this. If you're seeing this, you probably saw different comments. We're doing as you all know, we're on the road, and it's pounding away, and so we're having to record some stuff here and there. But we're going to always make sure that we give y'all will have stuff every week, because that's the job, and that's why we're here. So this week, Halloween. Halloween's one of my favorite holidays, I would say. It goes from your favorite holiday to then your age with no kids, and you're like whatever about it, and then you have kids again, and you're like, it's my favorite holiday now.
What doesn't that apply to all holidays? I feel like I would get that way with Christmas too, and with Easter.
Yeah.
You kind of relive it through your.
Well,
kids.
your older years, they like Thanksgiving more because it's like the family.
That's my favorite right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how gout got started. Yeah. No hat today either.
Your
You're
feeding
like,
window.
Hey, yeah.
Well,
how are people gonna be handling that?
I don't have an Aaron Land hat, so I had to. I just wore the
dude,
jersey.
no hat.
Mhm.
Do you ever not wear a hat?
As a look, you look like you're having trouble processing.
Yeah. Do you ever wear not a hat on stage?
I've been not wearing it on stage
That's
lately.
good. I think
Yeah.
you should.
Yeah.
Because everybody thinks I wear a hat all the time, as I've always said, and I've never wore a hat on stage. I mean, maybe I've done it on like whatever shows if I'm doing 10 minutes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as a big show, I've never wore a hat. And why you shouldn't is it hides your eyes. It hides my eyes even in this podcast, but
Yeah, well, I did a show with a comic who had a hat, and I couldn't see any of his face, and I thought that probably is how I look every set.
it is. Well, your eyes are very important.
Yeah.
And you already cover up the bottom of your head. So,
Just your nose.
I mean, you're basically like people
Yeah.
see this.
Yeah. Now I have been wearing sunglasses
Yeah.
on stage.
Yeah. You look like
And
a poker player that comes out.
and
you're-
an
he's like,
N95
you don't
mask.
see where you don't see where these jokes are coming from. You're like, went to the grocery store the other day. Always get the wobbly wheel. Like you're always looking like, who said that?
It's ventriloquist.
Yeah. Golly. I thought, who was up there talking, man? So,
I was thinking when I prepared this episode, if we were Halloween, like Jason, Freddy, Mike Myers, the background, we were one of those. What would be our backstory? I think I'm the whistler. You know when it gets killed because you hear me coming.
yeah. It's like
The
but
least
you-
successful serial killer
Yeah,
ever.
but
I have
the
a nose
one that
whistling
wants to, yeah,
Oh, you have a nose whistle?
yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
and the audience already let them know. So they you would be, I think, the guy that wants to kill the most and can't.
Yeah.
But you're
'cause-
definitely like, you get around other serial killers and then they get uncomfortable when they talk, just
Yeah.
shop talk. When they shop talk,
Talk.
they are
Shop
sitting
talk.
there and they're like, man, just go get it over with, dude. Like just, or kill yourself maybe. I don't
have
know.
surgery, deviate a septum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys,
I know.
I just watched Joe List old sketch video where he did a whistle video. It's very funny. He goes, buddy that has a nose whistling and he's like doing like the Andy Griffith in his nose. It was very funny, but I just saw it today.
Yeah.
But yeah, you would be the one that they caught I mean, like, you just would never be. It's not for trying.
But they just always know I'm coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
they always see. They go, "What's up, man?" And you're like, "You got leaves taped up on you, hiding in the bushes." And they always go, "Brian," and then you're.
They
gotta
didn't call me
walk home.
Brian.
You got to walk home with your leaves and sticks sticking out of your hat. And you're like, "Stupid nose." Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you could do it, I mean, as a serial killer, if we're gonna go down this road, go like, I have a nose whistling problem. Can you come over here? And then you like chop them with an axe or something.
I can't hear you over my nose. Do you mind coming a little closer?
He just kills like ENTs.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that all you kill?
And then everybody thinks it's birds killing people because they go, "I heard chirping. I heard birds chirping."
I'm only killing ear, nose, and throat doctors.
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
No, because people do like to give.
You've
medical
only
advice.
killed with exact appointment times. Like it's never random. It's always 10:15 a.m. left at 10:20 a.m. You're like, "Well, why don't you just talk to them about the nose whistling thing?" And he goes, "Huh. I thought they're the ones that caused this."
That'd be great if you your nose would only whistle when there was like COVID or something in the air.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Like
like
a
an
dog.
alert
Sensed
system.
it.
Yeah,
Like a dog.
it's the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer story.
Yeah.
It's like you make fun of him until he's useful,
Yeah.
and then he's your whole thing.
Yeah. What if you were a bomb detector, like a bomb dog, or you're like, and they just,
Yeah.
I couldn't control it.
yeah,
Yeah.
they walk you, they got a leash on you, and a guy smaller than you walks you, and you're like,
What's
Yeah.
wrong, boy? What's wrong, boy?
"What's
Yeah.
wrong?" And the person's like sweating. What's this guy doing? You know,
Brian's a human alarm.
human alarm.
Human alarm.
Yeah,
You'd be the gout foot.
Uh-huh.
Like
Galfoot.
anyone you touch gets gout, probably.
yeah. No, I think he can only go right. Can't go left because he got on the left. So if you don't like, when people are watching the movie, they're like, "Go left." He can't go left, and they just keep going right, and they get around a circle, just running right, and he just catches them every time.
You can tell because my footprints are different sizes.
Yeah, they go. Who do you think did it? I have a great idea who did it.
It'd be great.
If you notice, his one foot's wider than it is long. Yeah. It looked like it looked like a man with a rectangle foot.
That'd be funny if you're in an argument with your lady and she's screaming at you and she goes, "Get out," and then goes, "Gout."
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it double
Lucy.
hurts. It hurts. It hurts like
Yeah.
twice.
We'll tell Lucy to do
Yeah.
it tonight.
Yeah.
We're see her
Sure she
tonight,
will.
so we're
Yeah.
Gout.
That's a good one.
That's
Gout.
a good one.
Get out. Gout.
Gout. Gout. Gout on out here. Gout on out here. And you're like, what did you say? You're trying to fight them then?
Uh-huh.
What am I?
You'd probably be the dyslexic, maybe. Like you're forcing people to read to them.
I do it in backwards.
Mhm.
So I
They kill
kill them,
themselves.
and then I try to bring them back to life. I do
Yeah.
it, and then I go, I shouldn't have done this. Why am I doing this? I'd see everything backwards, and then I turn myself in, and I only get one kill in.
You're a dyslexic doctor. They go in for a physical and you kill them because you
Yeah.
get backwards.
They read those letters, and I go, oh, it's perfect. You got perfect vision. They get hit by a bus, they walk out immediately. I'll be honest with you, I've never seen someone get it like that.
It's great if you're pulled over and you've been drinking too much, and they go, you have to say the alphabet. You go, I'm drunk too, but I'm also
Yeah.
dyslexic.
I'm gonna nail it. ZYXWVUTB.
Oh, I was like, you're kind of
Pretty
doing
good.
it.
I was like,
well.
whoa.
ZYXW. No, is that it? ZYXWU.
Threw a B in
P.
there pretty quick.
Yeah. UTSRB. V. I don't know. I could do it quick enough to go. I'd be ZXYW. Is that good enough, right? I
That's
could
it.
keep going. And he's like, yeah, that was pretty impressive. And I go, yeah, I do this, dude. That's a dumb question. And if he goes, just do two more. I'd be like,
He goes,
A,
"It's-
1, 2.
It's actually not doing the
Yeah.
alphabet backwards. It's actually the letters flipped over.
Yeah.
So actually, you're doing that wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So.
ZXWY159er.
Niner.
Yeah.
Exclamation point. Pound sign.
That's what you should do.
Uh-huh.
And then they go, hey, he's not drunk. Like
Yeah.
then you're like,
This guy's just a comedic genius.
yeah.
It's one of
Exclamation point. Townside taco. He
Taco.
threw an emoji in there.
Emoji.
I asked him for the alphabet. This guy's making it fun.
Emoji. He made it fun.
This guy is livening up my night.
Hey, I'll be honest with you, sir. Well, you're still going to jail, but this has been the greatest night of my life. And he shakes your hand. And you go, hey, you know what? I appreciate that. He's like, you won't ever get to drive again, but I will pick you up when you need something. Because, man, I had fun.
Hey, I needed this.
I needed this tonight. It's usually so serious, and this just felt
You ever see
great. I'll be honest with you. I'll let you drive one more mile. Let's just see what happens.
Do you ever hear that joke where they pull a guy over for a DUI and he's like, I'm in a hurry. I'm a juggler. I got to get to my thing. And the cop's going, look, I don't believe you. Get out of the car. He's like, I swear to God, I'm a juggler. And he goes, here, I'll prove it. And he gets out and he's got chainsaws in the back of his car and he starts juggling the chainsaws. And another drunk driver sees him from across the street and he goes, I better sober up. Look at the test they're giving now.
That's so good. Look at the test they're giving now.
All right. What would you be, Mike? The cop, what is it?
Wrestler.
Every bad cop?
Quiet. He's not what you expect.
Right.
Mike would be probably just a regular serial killer because I think you have that personality.
Right.
To be normal.
The meditative,
Yeah.
deep breathing, cold shower.
Yeah.
Be in shape.
I mean,
Like the guy, like you run, I'll just keep running
Yeah.
after you.
you
know,
takes a cold shower. I mean, he's like got the starter kit.
You take cold showers?
Yeah.
freezing showers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
We
time?
were on the road to this
Yeah.
theater, and the theater, these theaters are
Yeah.
old, a lot of them. And he goes, "Oh, what was wrong? The shower cold?" I'm like, I don't know
Yeah.
if it was cold or
He
not.
goes, no,
because
it's
I
just
take cold-
cramped.
It
He
was just
doesn't
small.
matter.
Yeah. it doesn't
Imagine
matter
you
if
get
it's
to look
cold.
at every shower and you go, I don't care. 'Cause
You don't
you're-
even notice it.
No, I notice it. I still notice it. I'm not that far along.
Yeah.
But I don't even. Put
Do
it
people
on.
get
It's
that-
not a possibility to put on warm.
Do people get that far along? Like where they don't notice it?
Yeah.
Is there like
I
people?
mean, that guy Wim Hof. That guy's like, they're like. So
you
sometimes
follow
you
a guy that's just known
Are
for
you-
taking cold
Cold
showers.
showers.
Are you in a
Yeah.
group?
Yeah, you're in a
Yes.
group.
Yes.
And you acting like you said that guy, Wim Hof, as if we all might know the
Yeah.
greatest cold shower of all time.
He's
The
the
Knopf,
greatest cold
yeah.
shower guy.
And that's his thing?
His thing is breathing, the breathing practice that I do, and cold showers.
And that's all he's known for. He's not like is he a Navy SEAL or something? Or is he
No, he's a guy who gets the best out of himself by breathing, and he does like these amazing things. He'll
Yeah.
swim underwater. He'll like run up Mount Everest barefoot. He does all these crazy things,
Oh.
but
I don't believe
It's-
that one.
it's
Yeah.
really you got to read it. You
Yeah.
got to read his. I'm not doing his story.
also there's no
justice.
video, it's just a story he wrote. And he said I ran up.
Oh, I did that too.
Ran up
Yeah.
Mount Everest
Oh,
barefoot.
well, I did too. I flew up it. I can fly.
He's like
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof?
Yeah, he was on
Yeah.
Rogan and all this stuff. Like,
Yeah,
he's,
yeah.
he's out.
Yeah.
What's the
I guess
purpose
a
of cold
book.
showers?
It's-
Seinfeld is so you don't sweat during the meeting. George Costanza.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's Seinfeld.
they're really good for you. Like they're really good for you, and also because when it's good for your your systems
Your
because
circulatory.
yeah, well, when the water hits you, your natural tendency is to tighten up,
Right.
and the whole point is to breathe through it,
Okay.
and adjust to it. you
Wow.
know?
Yeah.
You know, I started doing. I was sweating when I get out of a shower, and it was so frustrating
Yeah.
that I do like a super cold for like 30 seconds,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right at the end.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
I know. Do you ever think about eating better?
You giving the truck stop advice?
Yeah. You would be a great trucksman
Yeah.
because you're every shower. You're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I do get it. I'm joking. I've
Yeah.
done that too.
Yeah.
So if you like, sometimes you want it. Sometimes I want it cold. But I could see taking a cold shower. Like I get
Yeah.
the idea of it, and like so you never take a hot
You're-
shower.
I haven't now. I haven't.
In
But in
probably how
Florida,
long?
sometimes it's hard. Your water here in the South, like it's just naturally because it's like warmer. It's not as cold. I was in Vancouver in the winter and I put it on cold, and I was really. I mean, I had to put it down. It's still cold, but I didn't put it on the coldest that it was
Yeah.
because it was really really cold.
You're
But
frostbite.
there's all kinds of benefits to it. But one major benefit is, and we talked about this before, which is your mind tends to put you in a comfortable place sometimes. And not sometimes, a lot of times. Your mind is just looking for the easiest, most comfortable. And this is an opportunity to tell your mind, like, we're going to do this. I'm not listening to you. Because your instinct is, let's just take a call. You start having that conversation. And I love David Goggins. I listen to all his stuff. He's a Navy SEAL, like motivational speaker.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have to win the argument with your mind, because your mind will always go to the most comfortable, weakest place. So it's like, it's okay. We don't have to take a cold shower today. But if you just go, this is what I'm doing. I do not care what my mind says. And you just do it anyway.
Yeah.
Wow.
Halloween. I mean, it's so funny to get. Yeah. So this dude was.
He's unbelievable, man.
He was fat at one point.
He was fat. He went through Navy SEAL training 3 times, which is unbelievable. He does these unbelievable feats, but the reason I love him is because he breaks down mental toughness. Like when growing up playing sports, or be mentally tough, you got to be mentally tough. It's like he breaks down the conversation that you have with yourself when you're suffering.
Yeah.
So no one I've ever seen does that.
Yeah.
So
I think it makes you probably be not. You take the ego out of yourself too.
Right.
Like if you do it, and you think, like he's got to be humbled. Like looks like that and he's humbled by it. Because it's like such hard work to get to that point.
Right.
Where you have to, I was thinking about that this week when we were talking about like when you earn stuff, I think people that earn stuff really are not egomaniacs about it. Because they are like, you know how hard this was, man?
Yeah.
Like it's hard.
Yeah.
And so they're proud, but they would never think they're above anybody. They're like, no, dude, I just had to do it. It was the worst. And it was hard.
Yeah.
And like a guy like that you'd be like, well, this guy's more appreciative than someone that's just born with that body.
Yeah.
Right.
That's never like, they've had it easy.
Yeah. My experience getting to work with other comedians, it's the very few have been rude or weird or anything, but those are always the comics who've had some sort of weird path where they've gotten things quickly.
Yeah.
It's the old guys that have been through, they've grinded it out for years. They're all very grounded, very humble, very friendly.
Yeah. And the ones that get it young and quick can be the divas and can be the
exactly,
because it's like you're supposed to be getting that, and that comes from everybody's kind of a yes person with you. Your agents are like, doing all this kind of stuff. It's hard. I mean, I understand that it's hard. I mean, I can see it some now where it's like stuff is a lot like, when I go do a show, I get an iced coffee on my rider. So someone brings me an iced coffee at sound check is when I want to get, so I don't have to go get it. Cause sometimes I'm not there. It's the timing of it all. But even that simple of a kind of thing where you're like, sometimes I want to be like, I need to go get this on my own. Like, it's like, cause I can have, I got Travis as my tour manager. So Travis will get a lot of stuff for me. Some of them I need it to get because it's like, hey, I'm trying to do this. Or I'm trying to go out to eat with my buddies and I'm trying to like go walk around a mall and have like just a normal day.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's like having an assistant or, when people have that, your life gets busy. But then sometimes you do. You got to, it's like go get your tires changed. Well, you go change them. Like go drive up there yourself. Sit in that, it seems,
You do that?
No, but
Travis does.
No, Laura does that actually. Yeah, but but I mean, I actually haven't done any of this, but I know that I should. But I haven't been home, and so it's like I'm trying to like. Some of it's like, well, I need to go. I need to. Last night was like be with Harper, like sitting there. I put her to bed, and we talked. It's the best time to talk to a kid. And
how are you with her? Do you have that kind of like, don't look at me. Don't you look directly at me. Who do you think you are? I'm better. You're nothing.
Yeah. Well, so last night I met her for the first time and she seemed nice, little. Now the best time to talk to a kid, man, is when you're putting them to bed. And she always, she always right knows, like she sleeps with us. And so like, she'll always want us to snuggle. And she'll be like, it's very cute. She'll be like, tonight's a snuggle night. Because some nights we're being like, no, you need to just go to bed. But it's like we have one kid. We had a kid late. So we're having one kid. You're like, I tell her all the time, she's not going to want to snuggle with us too much longer.
Right.
And so like, let's enjoy it. And it's a special, like, it's just odd. Even though she can be asleep, it's like the very sweetest moment where I get to really kind of can talk with her and hold her. And she's my little girl. Mm-hmm. And but it's the best time to talk to them because they're trying to stay awake. So they will just they're when they're busy and doing stuff with their friends during the day, they don't want to talk to you. But when they want to stay awake and you're trying to make them go to bed, I mean, she'll talk about anything and everything.
Wow.
And just like, so it's a kind of a fun moment to be like last night, we talked for like 30 minutes. She should have been asleep, but it was like, I haven't been home. And then we're just talking about, they're going to go out with me in a couple weeks for her fall break or something. Or maybe they just went out with me on the fall break because when this is coming out. And so we were talking about the plans for that and what we're going to do. I'm like, we'll be on the bus. She loves the bus. She loves the hotel. She likes a green room. It's like all that kind of stuff. Like it's very fun. Obviously, every kid, a tour bus is fun. And so we were just talking about the plans for that. And, it's, I don't know. I feel like you get to learn their personality. We had it in the car too. The car's good too. If you can get them to be like, it's like sometimes she wants to just like, can I have your phone? Can I do something? And you gotta be like, no, we're going to. Yeah. Let's talk.
What do you ever say? Just take off your seatbelt and live a little bit. Are you going to listen to everybody all your life?
I've always let her sit in my lap and drive the car. I mean, obviously I'm doing gas and brake and my hands on it. But since she was 5, I would always, right when we pull in the driveway, I'd be like, you want to drive? And I'll let her sit up with me and let her steer a little bit. When she was 5, I was kind of doing it. And because I mean, she's steering and I mean, she's just like looking everywhere but forward. Yeah. And I'm like, you gotta look forward. We're driving forward.
Women drivers, right?
Yeah, right?
No.
No.
Okay.
So
I don't support that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So they but then I let her drive in our neighborhood too. So when I get in the neighborhood, I'll be like, you want to drive? And now she's bigger. I still do the gas and pedal because I don't know if she knows it really that well, but I kind of let her do the driving. And I let her, she'll drive the golf cart. She ever comes out with me.
You let her pump the gas?
Yeah, she's never pumped the gas actually. I remember my dad letting us pump the gas for the first time, and it was like pretty crazy. And I remember moving to New York, and you'd meet people from New Jersey, and they're like, "I've never pumped gas in my life," because in New Jersey, every gas station has people that do that.
Right.
And so there's kids that are like, "Are you meet someone who's like 30?" And he's like, "I've never one day pumped gas. You never pumped gas?"
Yeah. Well, you meet people in New York never drove a car.
Yo, yeah.
And I grew up in the
Rondell Hartley. Remember he got his driver's license after we knew him, and he was an adult. He was in his 30s or something.
Yeah.
And he like just got my driver's license. I was like, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Just now? And he's like, I mean, we've never needed one. And why would I? You just ride in the subway.
Yeah, you're 50. You do your first communion tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys doing everything backwards here?
Yeah.
Big cities, right, guys? Stupid. Stupid.
Halloween.
All right.
Hey, could I say one thing about Halloween? Like your daughter sleeps with you every night. I think a cool thing to do on Halloween would be like for the first time you take her to a separate cold room with a big clown on it and just go, you sleep in here tonight.
Yeah.
It's Halloween. You got to get into the spirit of being scared.
I do like scaring her. I bought her a bunch of stuff at the Spa Museum in DC. And it's like those glasses with the mirrors you can see behind. There's all the stuff that I was like, I remember getting stuff like this. Yeah. The knife comb that you press it and it's a comb. And,
switchblade.
Switchblade comb. Yeah. And then
I think that's Travis's, right?
Yeah.
Actual comb.
Travis has a lot of knives. We go to the Spa Museum and me, Graham, and Travis are going to the Spa Museum. And we walk in, they go, he's going through a metal detector and Travis always has a knife with him. Like it's a pocket knife, but it's a big pocket knife. And he goes, he doesn't want me to tell everybody on here. Like, I won't tell you where his other knife is because he has one more too. And he has his knife out and he pulls it out. And then the guy's like, he's like, well, is it a small knife? You can take it if it's small. And he pulls it out and the guy flips it open and he's like, yeah, man, this one's going to you got to take it. He goes, go put it in your car. And we're like, we don't have a car. He's like, I mean, throw it in a bush or something like that. And then Travis had to go to a bush, and he was very funny. He goes, and just threw it in the bush. And then we were just picturing we come back out, and like Travis, because Travis left before us, and we come back out, and just all the bushes are pulled up, and he can't find his knife. He's yelling at the guy. He goes, someone took it. Someone saw me drop it in there. And so
that's a pretty cool Spy Museum story.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah,
to not let him, and then have to hide the knife.
Had the knife.
So great.
Yeah, it's like your one joke, which we won't tell, but your detective joke.
Oh yeah.
But it's like that. Yeah, it's like I guess this is part of it.
This is part of it.
This is part of it.
I went to the Mob Museum in Las Vegas and pulled in, and the parking is really expensive. And I was like, "Why are you trying to shake me down? Huh? Is it part of it?
Yeah,
is part of it? $24.
Yeah. $24.
Tell the Gambinos I said hi.
Yeah, different for everybody. Why didn't the car before me have to pay? Well, they get a table up front. We know them. Is that museum good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I went with Ari.
Is that the main mob?
The Mob Museum, yeah.
That's like
in
the
Vegas.
main one, yeah.
Yeah, there's not a bunch of them. The rest of them are just social clubs.
Yeah. That's what we should have done, and we're blowing it with this Halloween, but I'll have you back. A mob episode with him. He knows a ton about it.
Know all about it. Yeah.
He loves it.
And I watch all the mob podcasts now. I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you do a mob podcast?
Because all the guys everybody's doing them. All the guys who are in it are doing them.
Oh,
the guys who cooperated, they all have their own podcast.
Yeah.
And I had a guy on who was a Bonanno associate soldier, and it was pretty interesting. But you get a different fan base then. You get a whole different. No, but there's a whole genre of people who are just like me, looking for mob. Yeah. And,
all right, I'll figure out. You'll be coming back, so I'll figure when you come back, we'll do a mob one with you.
That's great.
Because he knows a lot about it. Halloween. Do one thing Halloween.
All right. It started as a
good.
All right, let me find another one then.
No, do it started.
Started as a Celtic festival during the Middle Ages. It was called Samhain or something like that. Samhain. Their New Year started November 1st, and they felt like that was the end of summer when everything starts to die, and they felt like at the New Year, the ancient spirits come back and walk that one night, the night before the New Year. So they would start dressing up in costumes to disguise themselves so the spirits would not realize that they're people. They think they're other ghosts. And they would put food out by their door to try to give the spirits to appease them so they wouldn't try to come in the house.
And imagine this is your parents doing this. Like, it's not children, it's your parents that are doing it. And then you go out the next morning and you're like, I mean, all the food's still here. Just a bunch of fat raccoons laying around everywhere. Like, they give them like mashed potatoes and stuff. You're like, what do they give them? What would you give a ghost? Something light?
Especially 2,000 years ago.
Salad? Asparagus?
Something light. Yeah.
Or something light?
Well, they're hiding from the ghosts, right? So they're like, oh, the ghosts won't know if we dress up.
Yeah.
But I mean, then they leave food out for them, which is where the candy is left out.
Right.
Actually makes a ton of sense why Halloween is Halloween now. It's like basically that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But then after a few centuries, our buddy Pope Gregory got involved.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same Pope Gregory, different Pope Gregory.
Yeah, which one? Do you know the number?
Pope Gregory the Third.
Third.
And he decreed November 1st is All Saints' Day.
Yeah.
He was trying to change these pagan holidays into religious holidays. And so the night before, or All Hallows Day, and then the night before is All Hallows Eve.
You know, that's what everybody should do. If you're a pope, president, just do something kind of that will live forever. Like the other ones are like kind of like that. You know, when he probably did that, they go, "That idiot is changing a holiday." That's all. That's what you're here to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Let's see what happens."
Yeah.
And his is the most famous thing that like no one else remembers anything else.
Right.
So if you're any of these things, go like they always talk about like time zone. What's the daylight savings time?
Mm-hmm.
Be the president that changes that. In 100 years, when no one knows nothing that any other president did, he'll be like, that guy did daylight savings. And everybody's like, oh, man, good for him. Like, you know, or something. And you look back on it and you're like, and he's sitting there like, yeah. He's playing to the people.
I like the conversation that Pope Gregory had. Like, hey, Gregory, can I get a second with you?
Yeah.
You can't do it. You can't do that.
The second, Pope Greg II came and talked to him. He goes, hey, what are you doing? And another guy comes in. He goes, who's that? That's Gregory. I'm assuming probably the fourth if you go through with this.
Jack-o'-lanterns is an Irish myth. There was a guy named Stingy Jack, and he made a deal with the devil not to send him to hell. But God didn't want someone so conniving in heaven either, so Jack was forced to walk the earth every night with just his lantern.
Oh, that's nice.
So he wasn't a pumpkin?
Now we buy plastic versions of him. This guy was real?
Yeah.
No, it was just an Irish myth.
Stingy Jack was his name?
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe in that.
An Irish Stingy Jack. I like how they didn't want to let him into heaven because he was too conniving.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on that guy.
But he's so good at being conniving, he
Right.
talked himself out of hell.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Like he's like, is he good at it? You're like, pretty solid at it. I'm not going to talk myself into heaven, but I got out of the worser ones.
Yes. I'd rather be roaming the earth.
Oh, yeah.
than,
Yeah. Just walk around and roam the earth.
Yeah.
You see everybody.
Purgatory, if you believe in it, that's a good place for
Yeah.
that guy to be.
Purgatory's just stuck in the middle.
Just kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
Right below heaven, but not
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah.
You know?
I think
That'd be Earth.
we're in purgatory.
Now, purgatory is a holding pattern, isn't it? Let's go to the Torah on this one. Can we go to the Torah?
It's just a holding like planes. You're just being like seeing them forward, and you just have to be circling, going, "I'm so close to landing, and I don't want to land."
Some parts of the country celebrate Beggars Night. It's the night before Halloween, kind of like Mischief Night. But this one, kids have required to tell a joke, or perform a trick for their treat.
Oh, I like that.
That's good.
I like that a lot. Make these kids work for it.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah, come up with something.
Yeah. Give me some. Bring something to the table.
This should be something schools do, or churches, or community centers. Like they should have stuff like that
Yeah, maybe
the night before.
don't call it Beggars Night anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I like the spirit of it.
More like beggars can't be choosers night.
Yeah, Ooh,
Right?
that's pretty
You
good.
get what we give you.
Thank you. Go to Beggars Night. Where's it at? Loserville. It's at their community center.
Didn't you learn that in the hobo college that you went to?
Yeah.
Beggars night.
The White House is supposedly haunted. The ghost of Abraham Lincoln is supposed to roam the White House. He's been spotted by Eleanor Roosevelt, Queen of the Netherlands, and Winston Churchill. Queen of the Netherlands opened her door and he was standing there and she fainted. And Winston Churchill got out of a hot bath and he had nothing but a cigar. And he walked into his room and Lincoln was standing there. And he tapped the ash on the end of the cigar and said, "Good evening, Mr. President. You seem to have caught me at a disadvantage." Lincoln smiled softly and then disappeared.
Well, I would believe the other one more than I'd be. Well, Winston Churchill, I think you were drunk.
Yeah.
You had you're telling me you were so put together
Right.
that you see a ghost that you go, oh, you come up with a great line.
Yeah, on the spot.
Take another
the
drag
spot.
of your cigar.
Ash it and go, it seems like you caught me at a disadvantage. And then either that's made up or Winston Churchill is the most charming human being that's ever, which is a possibility.
I think he was up
Yeah.
there, man.
I mean, it honestly might be the most just kept person that you're like, this guy was wonderful. Great name, Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
Great name. And then just cutting it up saw Abraham last night. Eat cereal in the morning.
That guy right there. That's in the hallway.
Maybe.
Great.
Possibly the greatest person ever.
He had one of the greatest comebacks of all time. You ever heard that comeback? He was talking to some other world leader, a female world leader, and she said, "If I were married to you, I would poison your coffee every morning." And he just takes a drag of his cigar and he goes, "If I were married to you, I'd drink it."
Yeah.
It's just off the
that's a
cuff.
I mean,
solid
this
slam.
guy is awesome.
This
Yeah.
guy.
That's unbelievable. So maybe it's true. Maybe it's,
Yeah. I believe he saw
I like
Lincoln.
it.
I believe Lincoln was still making his rounds.
Yeah. Especially back then.
He's got unfinished business.
That means he left the Ford Theater and went down the street.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
odd. We were talking. I don't know if we talked about this. Ghosts. Where do they hang out? Usually,
Like
it's
in
where
between.
they died,
Mhm.
right? But he walked back to his house after he died. I guess.
Yeah.
The ghost of Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
But I guess if you live in the White House,
Maybe it's where you spent most of your time. You go back to where was the most impactful point of your life,
yeah.
and you kind of go back to there. So
Hard-
some people, it's their house. Some
Yeah.
people, for him, it would be the White House. And so maybe just shoot on over there.
Google the Mary Todd Lincoln photo with Lincoln's ghost behind her.
He's behind her? Oh, wow.
Oh, this. That's so obviously. I mean,
That's
Yeah.
real.
do people think this is a real photo?
They did.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is it
that's
real?
one of the more fake things I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is fake.
Well, I
but
would
people thought it was
say-
real.
I would say the hands make it fake.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Because you almost want to go, why'd you do the hands, man?
These
Yeah.
are too much.
Yeah, the hands are too,
Yeah.
Why is
What
he
is she
doing? He's
wearing?
doing that, what's that symbol? The
Hook 'em
Hawaii?
horse? Oh.
No, the Hawaii symbol where he's just doing,
The hang 10.
yeah, hang 10 symbol. And they're like, why did you? He goes, I thought, well, it's, when I
What is
painted
she
this.
dressed in? That looks like she's playing for Notre Dame.
Yeah,
in
it
the
does look
20s,
like
you
she's
know?
playing for Notre Dame. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I think she could have.
Yeah.
A year ago, we were on the drive-in tour, and almost on Halloween night, Exactly. We watched the movie Halloween at movie theater.
One of the best experiences I've ever had on the road.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Drive-ins are fantastic.
fantastic.
Drive-in movies.
We were the only ones there.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were, driving movies are fantastic. Doing the shows were fun at the time. I would still do some if I could, like maybe do some summer stuff for that. I would do it for the fun experience of the hang and like,
Yeah. Did they beep when a joke hit?
yeah, Chicago did.
No.
Were you in Chicago?
I was
or-
in Chicago.
we didn't do the Chicago one.
But Chicago, when I walked out, they did it. They honked. It was,
Right.
the best, dude.
I'd be like, set up the rules. If the joke hits, please honk. And if the joke really kills, everybody do their wiper fluid
Ooh.
at the same
Yeah.
time. You know,
Yeah.
let's get some action going.
And they go, what about the hazards? You go, I wouldn't mind if those stayed on the whole show. Let's just have some energy, and then if it go from there. Everybody's just getting sprayed in the car next to them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They're sitting on their car.
But we sat and watched, the guy, it was in Louisville, right outside Louisville, whatever Louisville's driving through.
Right,
theater.
LaGrange maybe.
LaGrange. And then, so we sat there, we did the show. Then we were like leaving, I think the next morning. So it was like kind of just staying on the bus. And the guy's like, if you want to watch a movie, he's like, I can just start a movie and like it shuts off on its own. He had some radios. We have some folding chairs. And we're like, well, that would be unreal, dude. And then so we sat alone, like 6 of us in a parking lot watching this big screen
So awesome.
and watched Halloween. And like the first Halloween, and it was,
Yeah.
one of the best experiences ever. Because you're just like, you're walking around that, you're like, it's so big of an area.
Yeah.
It was
You're just
huge.
alone. We're all sitting next to each other,
It's the
and
best.
you're just like
You're outside.
outside.
Gave
It'd be
us
great
pop-
if you had a grill. You did it like a tailgate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I would want
A
to do it.
scary
Yeah,
tailgate.
I would do that to be like, just have a drive-in. If you could rent a drive-in theater for a day, and just be like, we'll have tailgates, and we all just watch this movie. And I don't think you have that many people. You just kind of keep it kind of like tight, and then like we eat lunch and dinner out here, and we'll watch 8 movies.
Yeah.
And that would be the funnest thing ever.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It was fun.
The movie Halloween was shot on such a tight budget that for Mike Myers' mask, they went and bought a $2 Star Trek Captain Kirk mask. They spray painted it and reshaped the eye holes. So what he was wearing was a William Shatner Captain Kirk mask.
William Shatner, man, he's in. That's crazy.
That's
And
the best.
then William Shatner, no one. I don't know if anybody thinks about it. I think he could have been the most famous person. Like he's up there.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Shatner?
At one
dude,
time,
the
for sure.
fact that the most famous Halloween movie is a mask of his face.
I don't think people know that that's him.
Yeah.
man.
I don't, but like it's one of those that you sneak in and you start talking to him and like his name just comes up
Right.
more and you're like, that's your face?
That's him first thing in the morning, right?
Yeah.
We're not doing
Yeah.
that. Are we not doing that anymore?
He's going up in some spaceship with
Yeah.
Elon
Bezos.
Musk?
Yeah,
Oh,
he is.
Bezos.
Yeah.
William Shatner is?
Yeah.
Yep.
he's still doing it. I mean, it's just like kind of like he's just a dude that was like, Star Trek was, I didn't ever watch Star Trek. But Star Trek was the biggest thing on Earth.
Yeah.
And so that made him big. But it's crazy to think he weirdly came at a good time. The idea that you're like, where's that mask come from? And you're like, oh, that's actually William Shatner's face. You'd be like,
That's pretty crazy.
that's pretty crazy. And you're
Yeah.
like, so when they made this, he was the biggest.
He was on a very famous episode of The Twilight Zone where he sees a gremlin out on the end of the wing of the plane.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Twilight Zones, by the way, are just the best.
Yeah.
The old ones is
Yeah.
Did you type in William Shatner
hmm
with his name?
Yeah, so you can see
Yeah.
this is how they got there.
Yeah.
see the resemblance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's the same face.
But I would have never known that if
Never in a
Right.
million. No.
yeah.
I bet there's people that go, God, it reminds me of William Shatner. Like, I wonder if people really thought that.
Well, that's
Didn't
not
get
a good
older.
picture of him.
No, it's not.
You know?
It's a
No,
great
well,
picture of
he-
him on the right.
Yeah, he's on the left. Uh,
That's him with high blood pressure. On
Yeah.
the right's with low blood pressure.
Yes. Yeah.
Or gout.
Boom.
All right.
This is too much.
No,
What do you mean?
that's-
Yeah. All right.
Originally, with trick or treaters, they did not give out candy. They gave out pieces of cake, fruit, nuts, coins, and little toys.
Now those people would be psychos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you went somewhere and they go, "You want some fruit?"
There are always those
Yeah.
people in the neighborhood, though. There'll
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
be somebody, I got some apples, and you're like, oh,
I'd get an apple.
thanks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Toothbrush. We had a
Yeah.
dentist,
Yeah.
and he would always give toothbrush.
Yeah. I think you should just show up dressed, your kid regular, and knock at the door and go, "What are you dressed as?" And the kid goes, "I'm a vegan. I can't have anything with any dairy in it." And then just lay out your dietary preferences.
Yeah. Oh, I bet that's the.
That'd be a trick.
I bet
Yeah.
Beverly Hills, like you get those
I
kids.
know you guys were going to say that. It probably happens on the coasts.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
This
yeah.
is just flyover territory here, huh?
Yeah. I don't think it happens in New York, but I think in
No.
California, definitely. I mean, I think you could go to some places and you're like, it's all like grown candy or something. It's pumpkin seeds or
Right.
it's something weird. And you're like, oh, everything's from Trader Joe's and it's just some awful candy. And they're like, I bet, I would love to go. Would you ever go to a good neighborhood?
Yes. We go
Yeah.
to my grandparents' neighborhood. We'd always go there and trick or treat.
Yeah.
It's
Would you
much
say
better.
you're grandfathered in?
That was good.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. They, it was good. The people that got it. And they, it would be, we'd go to, there's a neighborhood here, Brandywine Point, and that was a big one to go to. And, cause it was like where all the like rich people lived. And I mean, there, it's like then you go there and they give you like a full candy bar.
Yeah.
I always think that's what you want to give. Cause
Mhm.
you're like, it was such a big deal
Yeah.
to be like, dude, they give you a full candy bar.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy. But now you get so much candy. I mean, it's I don't know. You get
But
so
a
much
full size candy bar is so
Yeah.
much more satisfying
Yeah.
than the same amount of candy, but in little fun sizes. You want the one.
You want the one, and you
Right.
know that person
cares.
cares. Yeah. Yeah.
Something beautiful about it, man.
According to candystore.com, which I bet Nate has already bookmarked if you want to look, Skittles were the top Halloween candy last year, followed by Reese's Cup and Starburst.
I would say because
Interesting.
Starburst is kind of surprising. I think Starburst is one of my favorite candies.
Yeah, but it's an insult to give somebody one Starburst. Talk
Well,
about.
I bet they bought those little packs. And
how many
then-
are in a little pack?
I don't know. It
4?
sounds like the most thing was sold was this pack that has Skittles, Reese, and Starburst in them. But it was M&Ms are just a classic, and you get
Mhm.
those little bags. You go buy them, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a giant classic. It's an easy one to give everybody. Starburst. The only thing I would ever say about Starburst, the only thing they haven't done that I wish they would is it's all wrapped,
Yeah.
Mm.
and like it's kind of annoying.
Super
And so
annoying,
then they came out with the unwrapped, but it's little. And I don't like the little ones. So you're like, give me some big unwrapped Starburst. Do normal unwrapped. Like, why? If you can do the little ones, what's so risky about throwing big ones in there? I just
Yeah.
always think, why do they always wrap? Do they get dirty or something? They're in
Well,
a
where
package.
would they? Oh, in a. Oh, yeah.
You
I
don't
guess
go
the
buy
double
Starburst like
wrapped.
in a bowl
Right.
and you go, I'm glad these are wrapped. They're wrapped in the package. So like, and
But
they
doesn't it have like a Christmas feel to it, Nate?
yeah,
Where it's like
but-
you're opening stuff. It's like, oh, it's a gift.
Yeah,
It's like a tiny
look,
little
if you're
flavorful
reasonable and
gift.
eat one, that's how you can take it. But if you're going to pound 2 sticks of them,
Oh, you don't like the fact that you have to unwrap each of them?
Yeah.
when you're eating like that, you get a little lazy about those kind of things.
Mhm.
Because that's, you're like, you're wasting my time. I will usually
Wasting your time or burning calories?
wasting my time.
Okay.
And I would I'll unwrap a bunch of them
Oh, at
before I
once.
even eat.
Oh, right.
So
right.
then I can just enjoy it.
Ah, I do the
I'll
same
be like,
thing.
all right, well, you know what? I'll get my work done now.
Push them together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even push them together. I'm getting my
Oh.
work done now. Lay them all out. So then I can
Okay.
just
Set
eat.
them strategically
Yeah.
on your blood sugar machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then conquer.
Yeah.
What do you think? Compromise, have them stacked up like one of these lifesaver rolls, like one of these,
Dude.
and
yeah.
then you could just open them and then
pop them
they're
in.
not individually wrapped, but they're still
Lifesavers are so good.
put together like that.
Man, lifesavers are so good. That's an old candy that's like, they did it.
Holds up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you check your kids' candy after trick or treating?
Yeah.
What do you look for? I always wonder. What are you? You're just looking for weird stuff. in there?
Razor blades.
Yeah. Well,
That's-
they always
do you have
said
any of that
that.
stuff?
I do.
All right. Just go to that. Yeah. That's, can you
Yeah.
go? Yeah.
So paranoia about tainted candy spiked in the early 80s after a rash of Tylenol poisonings, in which cyanide-laced Tylenol was found on store shelves. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
I
I do remember it's a crate. It was a huge thing.
Before this, they didn't have childproof. Now any medicine you open, there's also a seal. Back then,
Yeah.
you could just take
Yeah.
the top off, put something in, and put it back on the shelf.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to think about now.
And
mean,
so
it's-
they put stuff in to kill people?
Killed people.
It was just, you go somewhere about Tylenol, it was like,
Yeah.
Yep.
wow.
Still
But did those
unsolved.
people have a headache afterwards?
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
They were dead.
They go, I
Technically
feel,
worked.
I
Yeah.
feel terrible,
Mhm.
but I also feel great. And then die.
But most of it's just rumors about razor blades and all that. It's rarely. It has happened before. One guy killed his own kids, I think. He'd taken out insurance on them.
Yeah, it was like
There's
a
an insurance for
framing.
that? I'd like
Yeah.
to take out insurance on my kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, are you going to kill him?
Halloween
No.
insurance? No. We got a rough neighborhood with trick or treat in.
I like the idea of just getting packages of Gillette razor blades that aren't open
Yeah.
razors, the tire shavers, and giving them to the kids. Be like, I'm being upfront about
Yeah.
this. Here, you're gonna. I want you to use it when you're older to shave.
But then press starburst on the blades.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's like, is there razors in this? You go, it looks like a starburst to me. And you're like, I know, but I'm holding the razor thing.
Hold the handle.
And he's
of it.
just like, he's like,
Trying to
no.
shave and Starbucks
He's so
on.
mad. Like, he's just not good at it.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, it's not.
Those
He's
are
like, "Honey!"
rumors.
He yells at
Those
his
are all rumors.
He yells at his wife. He goes, we left the things in. The handle. I don't think that's how it works.
Well, why did you give me the shaving cream?
Yeah.
Also, if there's no razors.
Yeah,
Honey.
the razors is like we do check their candy. You're just looking for like see if it's already opened or something like that. Seeing what the candy is. I mean, some of it too is just out of matter of like when they're littler, you don't want them to choke. So you're kind of pulling out the stuff you think that you just like trying to be safe. But I would do. You want something?
What about a neighbor who just injects performance-enhancing drugs into all the candy and then just gives
Yeah.
it to the kids, and then you have
Yeah.
a neighborhood of champions?
Yeah, yeah.
They
What
win
then?
state.
And he just goes and he's standing at the end. He's by himself at the field goal post, leaning on it because you can't, and they're just dominating.
Yeah.
And no one knows
You
why.
can't tell anybody. You can't,
Can't
take
tell
any
Can't tell
credit,
anybody.
But
Can't
he
tell
knows.
But he knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then no one figures it out. And then like the year he moved away, they're like, we did not win a game. What happened? And then they just finally figure it out. Yeah.
Americans spend an estimated $6 billion annually on Halloween. It's the second largest commercial holiday after Christmas.
I love it, man.
Oh my God.
Halloween's
really?
so fun. But the kids, it's just.
I didn't even know anybody trick-or-treated. I thought you guys just had parties now. Because
No.
trick-or-treating is like so dangerous.
Dude, trunk
No,
or treat now,
it-
right? A lot of
I
those.
thought it was just everybody had parties and you just bring candy to the parties and everybody does that.
That would be fun, but no, the kids still. Our neighborhood does it. I mean, you got neighborhoods. The neighborhoods that are cool to do it in. Ours is a lot of kids in this neighborhood. It's now. I mean, these families are moving. The family neighborhoods, yeah, on the streets of Brooklyn where you live,
Right.
or Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there is stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in everywhere else, America, the coast. If you're not in the coast,
Right.
you're in the rest of the country, which is all of the country.
Real America.
Real America. Ooh,
Yeah.
real
No,
America.
I think solid. And I like the
And
eye
then-
contact as you're talking
Yeah.
down to me.
Yeah.
For those of you just listening to this, Nate is making eye contact while
Yeah.
condescending me. Go
I
ahead,
want to
Nate.
make I want to make sure you're getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because people on
And
the
then-
coast don't get it.
they, they don't.
High horses.
By horses.
High
Yeah.
horses.
High horses. They're on
Yeah.
their high horses.
We're on their high horses.
So we have great trick or treating in this neighborhood, and everybody goes around the house, and we always go around it. And so I always actually ask off for Halloween. Like I don't ask. I mean, I tell my agents I
It's
don't
your
want to
boss.
work. I know. I always think of it as like a boss. Like I'm like, hey, can I get off? I do email them like that. I go, any way I can get off on Halloween? They're like,
yeah, just don't do a show. Man.
yeah, just do it. I'm like, that's cool, man. Appreciate it. You always work like you kind of like always got a boss. And then and so I always ask off because it's so fun. Like I love, it's fun to get to do. It's fun to get to go watch them, and it's just great.
You wear a costume? You dress up?
We did when she was little. sometimes now she will ask me to, and I can usually be like, I'm a Vandy coach, and I just wear Vandy
That's
stuff.
a good one.
But
Don't even change.
yeah, I don't even change. Yeah, I go, I'm a
Puts these
I
headphones
go, I'll
on.
be a golfer, and she's like, that's a great idea, and I just wear it exactly.
I think the Vandy
And
coach
then-
is great if you wear these.
Yeah.
too,
That would be good.
You're like I'm the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, yeah, and then
That is scary.
that is good. So I'll do that. When we were little, we dressed up like Paw Patrol, Rubble, like, and she was like, I forget who she liked, Sky or something. She liked one of them. So me and my wife were the other two. And
What's she going as this year?
I don't know. She's thinking. She's in between. She said that was one thing we talked about the other night. Either zombie softball player, which is she's playing softball, which is the classic. You switch into like kind of you want to be like a scary kind of thing, or a horse.
Can I make a suggestion? That's pretty great. That's pretty the gambit there. How about a crossing guard? Because you're not a cop. Okay, it's not superhero. You're just down home working class.
Yeah.
You're a crossing guard.
Yeah,
But you carry a flask around. You have a little bit of a drinking problem.
yeah.
For him or
Right.
for Harper?
Harper.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because you're only working from 8 to like 9, and then you're working from 3 to 3:30.
Right.
So the
Yeah.
rest of the day, you got to give yourself a little bit of a backstory.
Yeah.
And you're
I think
lonely
that's
out
better.
there. I think.
Yeah, you're lonely out there. You just went through a crippling divorce.
Right.
She can just wobble as she walks to the door. She's like, she trips, and he's like, "I'll drink her, treat her, trick her." Like says it, yeah. And then you're like, and I'm just behind her, like, yeah, yeah. Are you a drunk crossing guard? Oh,
The top costumes for kids: Spider-Man, Princess, Batman, Witch, Ghost, Zombie. Zombie's number
witch, yeah, witch ghost.
Which
What's
ghost?
a witch ghost?
Which ghost are you talking about?
9. Witch and the Ghost.
Aaron, I'll give it that.
Yeah,
For
You
pet- for
a lot of
pets.
people didn't give
Appreciate
it
it,
that.
man.
But I
Yeah.
give it to
Does
them.
Holly go?
We walk her. She walks like we're bringing her with her. I mean, she might throw something on her. You know, it's nothing too crazy. It's not big. You know, there's gonna be like a hat.
I've been calling the dog Ollie the entire time. I
Really?
didn't realize the dog was Holly.
Have you said Ollie the whole
Ollie.
time?
I've been calling it Ollie the
Like
entire
Muhammad.
time.
Yeah.
Like Muhammad.
Yeah,
I thought it was Ollie.
yeah.
Muhammad Ali.
Ollie Joe Prater, the great, is a great old comedian.
Yeah.
That if I ever son of Foxworthy worked with him, just the best stories alive about this guy. He was so fat that they'd have to put him on stage before the show, and so he would just sit on stage,
So
and there would just be a blanket laying over him, and the other opening acts had to do comedy in front of him, and Foxworthy was one of them. And then he goes, "There's a great book, which I don't know if I can't find. What's that book? Telling the stories from the road or something.
Yeah.
It's a great book. I'll find it. I used to have it. I think I gave it to someone. It's just all these old comics telling these horror stories of the road, and they're so, dude. I mean, I laughed so hard when I read it. It was Ollie Joe Prater, and they did. And he would do that. I mean, and when it was his turn, they would just pull the blanket like they're revealing a new car, like, and they just pull it. And he's just sitting there smoking. He's been smoking cigarettes the whole time. He's drunk. Just yell at the crowd. They'd usually leave. He'd just sit up there. He never walked off. It's like just one of those old school comics that were like a legend, and maybe not the best way, but a legend and just so funny. I mean, it's so crazy. Just like, I'll show him, dude. Like, it's just that attitude. And I mean, there's a blanket on him.
Do you address it as the opener? What's the move?
I think
there?
it's obvious. I mean, you can see his head and shoulder. Like, the blanket comes over.
There's smoke coming out of it.
Yeah,
Somebody's
it's kind
smoking
of coming
it.
underneath it. Like, my dad said there was a magician they had to do that too because he was just really big, and they had to put him up there before. And you just sit up there, and they just have something. He just sits there the whole show, and then they reveal him. And even when they reveal him, he's in a chair. So if they revealed him and he could stand up a little bit, it would at least be like, oh, maybe he came up from the back. But when they reveal him and he's in a chair, you're like, I think he's been back there the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole audience realizes it. I mean, this was like 80s. You know, this is when it was just chaos. Pretty great.
Some popular Halloween costumes this year
Yes.
for adults: Beth Harmon from The Queen's Gambit, Jeff Bezos in space,
Oh.
Ted Lasso, Carol Baskin, Joe Exotic, Dr. Fauci.
What about Britney? Britney's always a big one, but with the conservatorship, you could have a handcuffed to a mannequin
Yeah.
and be like, "That's my dad."
That's going to be you and Harper.
Yeah. Or you be the conservatorship, and then you got like
Britney, yeah.
a doll,
Right.
and you handcuff the doll to you. Go, who's that? That's Britney Spears. I'm the man that makes the calls around here. And he goes, does she want candy? You go, no, she doesn't, but I'll take her candy. And you take all her candy.
That's great.
Yeah.
Are you off this year for
I
Halloween?
think so. I might be. It's Halloween is Sunday.
Mhm.
So I don't know, are they going Saturday? That's always like, are they going Saturday? They're going to go Sunday. I might have to, if it's Saturday, I'll probably come home. If not, I might, because I'm in Columbus on the 29th. And that Saturday, 21 Pilots are playing in Columbus. So I was going to stay and go to that. But if they do Halloween, then I'll just go home. But if Halloween's Sunday, then I'll just come home Sunday.
So another alternative, Airbnb is renting out the Scream House for 3 nights.
Ooh.
October 27th, 29th, and 31st.
Where is it?
I think it's in Oregon or Washington State or something like that.
What's the Scream House?
The house from the movie Scream.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
dude.
I would love it. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I would love it.
You'd love to do it.
They
Yeah.
can settle in for a VHS movie marathon of Scream films with a snack pack, Jiffy Pop included. Is that from the movie?
Yeah.
You'll get a direct call on the home phone from Ghostface himself.
Oh, man.
And I think it said David Arquette. Is he the sheriff?
Yeah.
I think he greets you or something.
Oh, my God.
You may have to do this.
I like the idea of a haunted
How much
house,
is it?
though.
It's $5, I think. It's something
Really?
like, it's kind of like that good Blockbuster thing. It's not
Yeah.
about the money. It's just about the promotion and who gets to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love it. I wonder if they rented out. Oh, Scream House. It's there. Yeah. Oh, I would love that.
Wow.
Oh, gosh.
Didn't have the price on here. $5 a night.
$5 a night.
Pretty cool.
So you got to win it.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, man. I would love it. What are the nights?
27th, 29th, and 31st.
Oh, I can't even do it.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you can ever rent that house out on its own. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. An Honor of Scream's 25th anniversary, and they're doing a new one in 2022.
Yeah, I think it comes out in January.
Really? Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. I love Scream. Scream is the last horror movie I thought that it wasn't about the goriness. It was like, I mean, there was blood and stuff, but it was just it was like the perfect horror movie for me where it wasn't like too gross. And then you got into Saws. The first Saw was cool. Then after that, it just got like, we were talking about that, like, one, like a guy's mouth gets ripped off and you're like, all right, dude, like I can't.
I don't need to see that.
I can't. This is too much.
Allude to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Scream was just my favorite. And then, oh man, I love that.
What was the one in the woods that was in the low budget?
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch.
That was great too. Everybody thought it was real. That was a great one. That was a super fun one to watch. And that was like, you're like, is this real? I mean, because this was the first time, it's crazy to think. People don't realize it. You would think it's fake now, but when you're first watching that, you're like, well, who films himself?
Yeah.
Right.
And you're like, they were doing it. Like the only time you thought you filmed yourself was like, something like that could have happened.
Yeah.
And so it was such a good
Documentary style.
That found
Yeah.
footage.
Shaky
That,
found
that style
footage.
of movie, yeah.
and you were like, this is real, dude. Like,
Yeah.
and so they just did it really good. Man, I love the idea of that. That's great. I need to watch all the Screams. I'm going to rewatch them. Ooh, this month. Maybe we have a Scream night on the bus.
Oh,
And we go through them all. Yeah. I don't think you're back on until November, right?
No, I'm not back on until
Yeah.
November. So hopefully there'll be some Thanksgiving movies you could force us to watch. Nate,
Yeah.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah. You'll be fasting.
For Thanksgiving?
Yeah. You'll be sitting above the couch floating because he sits and that's where he meditates and he raises up a little bit. And we have to sit. Everybody's got to, on the bus, go, be quiet, everybody. He's listening for a train car in the distance. I don't know. All right.
We're talking about Blair Witch. Some witches. Witches have been around since at least biblical times. It was in the Bible. King Saul sought the witch of Endor to summon the dead prophet Samuel's spirit, and she did. And he prophesied about the death of Saul and his sons. So, and that didn't work out too well. And then in Exodus,
What about the Salem witch trials?
well, I'm getting there. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to go in
I'm
chronological
sorry.
order.
If he started with witch stuff and he went Bible first, you think he's gonna work up to it? Not talking about the most famous witch of all time.
I just think Blackboard went after me.
Blackboard did go
Black-
after you.
I think you went after me.
Oh,
In
Bubble
Exodus,
bubble.
bubble.
That's what I'd call you. I don't know.
There was
Is
a
that word.
There was a book written in the 15th century called, I can't pronounce it, Malleus Maleficarum, translates the Hammer of Witches. It was basically a guide on how to identify, hunt, and interrogate witches. And it spread throughout Europe as a way to spot witches. For more than 100 years, it was sold more copies of any book in Europe except the Bible.
Wow.
And
wow.
then,
how to spot witches?
Yeah.
Well, like when somebody comes to your door dressed like a witch, you go, "That's
Yeah,
it."
That's
You have a
it.
black
Green
hat,
skin,
there's a
broom.
broom. Yeah,
Kids don't want to go old school anymore.
yeah.
Like when you tell them to dress
Yeah.
up, like you're like, what about a witch or a ghost? Or
Yeah.
like they're all kind of like, dude.
Or
like,
a crossing guard with a drinking problem.
I'll be honest
You
with you.
don't want to go old school.
I think that's a good one. I bet that's an adult one. That would be a great adult part. Like a real, just
Right.
then you just go and you drink and become that problem. And you go, what are you crying? I'm a crossing guard that the parents complain about.
Yeah,
you have
That's
a
what you
whistle?
are.
Would you have a whistle?
My mom
you
was
have a
crossing
whistle,
guard.
and then you tell them, or you go, guess what I am, and then they have 15 seconds, which is as much time as it takes to cross the street
Yeah,
to guess it.
yeah. My mom was a crossing guard.
Okay, well, did that hit too close to home for you, Nate?
Yeah, she wasn't drunk, but she did it. She loved it.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're up to the Salem witch trial. 150 people accused.
All right, Brian, don't give me a glare.
Well,
We're up
that's
to
what
the Salem witch trial
I
now.
want to make sure you're listening.
Call him bankrupt.
Yeah,
that's
like Brian. Who's Brian?
Yeah,
18 people were put to death.
that's a shame.
Yeah.
18.
The most famous witch of that time was.
Bathsheba.
Mm.
No, come on.
Oh, for me?
No, is that what her name is? Bathsheba?
Nope. Grace Sherwood.
No, it's a very normal name.
It sounds like Gray Sherwood
Johnny
Chevrolet.
Bench.
Her neighbors accused her of being a witch. The court decided to use the controversial water test to determine her guilt or innocence.
Mhm.
They bound her arms and legs, and she was thrown into a body of water. They thought if she sank, she was innocent. If she floated, she was guilty. She did not sink, so she was convicted of being a witch.
Why didn't she sink? Just because?
I guess she was just really
Yeah,
floating and just.
Really buoyant.
yeah. Well, that's someone would do that. You give her time, she's going to sink.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well.
So maybe. So what we're getting at this is she was a witch and they nailed it.
I like it. They just didn't like her as a neighbor. And they're
Yeah.
like, she's a witch.
Yeah,
Doesn't
Yeah.
cut her lawn.
because I don't want to say anything, but a lot of brooms over there.
Have you heard the theory that the reason so many people were accusing other women of being witches back then is there was a late frost when they were harvesting wheat or something where it manipulated the crops in some way, that there is a psychoactive chemical in the wheat for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So essentially all these villages, they were just tripping out of their minds and they
Oh.
had no idea what was happening.
I thought you were
Yeah.
going to say you're going to blame the poor harvest. You had to blame it on somebody. So
Yeah.
why not these
Yeah.
backwards women?
I think they just
I got
Yeah.
bored during some of that. So and that
Are
was,
you kidding me?
That was less than a minute, and I just thought it. I thought
I think it's amazing. They were all tripping like they were on LSD,
Right.
and they had
I don't think I believe that.
All right,
I don't think the whole town is
I've never heard that.
because they thought witches were everywhere. So every town, or this is just about Salem.
I think they went off in Salem.
Yeah.
Like they were just a little too much.
but every other town they can track that it was down. They're all next to farms.
I think it's just Salem that this.
Oh,
They think this.
but
happened.
witches have been around forever.
Yeah. Well, that's why they knew what the idea of witches were, but they were
Yeah.
just tripping.
And then they go crazier, and that's
Right.
why they stepped it up a notch.
yeah, that's why they took it to the next level.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I don't know. I don't.
You don't believe it?
No.
I wish I knew more about it to defend it, but that's pretty much all I know.
Yeah.
They're werewolves. They're real too. A guy named Peter Stubb was a wealthy 15th century farmer in Germany.
Hmm.
And he's the most notorious werewolf out there. According to folklore, he turned into a wolf-like creature at night and devoured many citizens of Bedburg. He was blamed for gruesome killings, and people said they saw him shapeshift from a wolf to human form. He experienced a grisly execution after confessing under torture to being a werewolf. He declared he owned an enchanted belt that gave him the power to transform into a wolf, but not surprisingly, the belt was never found.
I wonder if you could be a werewolf and then you'd be like, but he's a rescue.
Yeah.
So we'll let him live.
Yeah, we'll let him. So he did kill people? Like
he confessed to it, but he was being tortured.
Yeah. So they just thought it was him.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, man, that's the crazy.
Just a hairy dude.
That old, yeah. It was
Turns out he's Italian.
Yeah. Oh, they think back on, they go, that makes sense. All right, let's hit it. Just got to go back to the normal life. Can you imagine you go to another town that's like farther along than them, and you go, we killed a werewolf in our town, and they're like, good night. They go, what are these people? You go to like a New York City, I don't know if New York is there, but you go to like, a nice town that's like, people are in libraries and they're reading books. I would be from this town that killed this werewolf. And I walk in, we killed a werewolf the other night, and they're like, what? And you're like, he had a belt. And they goes, well, did you grab the belt? Because that'd be pretty cool to have. No, I think we couldn't find it, and we kind of gave up. We enjoyed killing them, though. What are you guys reading?
According to a study conducted at Australia's Calvary Newcastle Hospital, a full moon brings out the beast in many of their patients. Of the 91 violent incidents that happened at the hospital, a quarter of them happened during full moons. Patients attacked staff and displayed a wolf-like behavior such as biting, spitting, and scratching.
That's also when they bill you.
Yeah.
They go, it must be a full moon. The prices are outrageous. Come on. My insurance doesn't kick in.
Yeah. Can you not cash this check till Monday?
Vampires. Dracula was a real dude. Count Dracula. His real name was Vlad Dracula, or Vlad the Impaler. He was from Transylvania, and
they went with it.
Yeah, he killed people with a wooden stake. But according to legend, he enjoyed dining amongst his dying victims, dipping his bread in their blood. And they think that's where Bram Stoker's Dracula came from.
What a high carb way to kill
This guy had a family?
Guess. I don't know. What makes you say that?
That painting of him, beautiful wife and daughter.
There's them getting married, maybe. Or shaking hands.
Yeah. That's like, how was he at home? You go, I mean, he was great.
Pretty normal dude. Great
he
father.
was great father.
Attentive husband.
We wouldn't see him till dinner. Maybe if we got up early for breakfast, we'd see him. But out of the way, supportive.
On the news, when they interview the neighbors, it's always that.
Yeah. They go, how was he? Good. Good guy. I mean, I saw him. I went through a phase where I was doing late night jogging, and I'd see him all of those nights. But outside of that, I never really saw him. I would feel his existence.
They always ask you the direct question, too. Did you ever see him take bread and dip it into someone's blood and then eat it? Never saw it.
Never saw it. And they go, and then they get mad at that person. They go, well, you should have saw it coming. That's when they do that with everybody. Every parent, I always feel a little bad. With the parents, if like Jeffrey Dahmer's parents or all these serial killer parents, and they ask them, they're like, you didn't see any of this? And you're like, you don't think your kid, it's like winning the lottery. You don't think you can ever win the lottery. Right. You don't think your kid could ever be a serial killer. Yeah. And like they had like kids in Columbine, they're like, well, I mean, they're like emo kids. You're like, I mean, they're one out of, I don't know, thousands of emo kids that don't kill people. Right. Thousands and thousands of them. Yeah. And so you just don't think your kid could be the one. And I always kind of feel a little bad for the parents because everybody's like mad at them. And you're like, dude, you think I would have stopped this? Yeah. Like I wouldn't have, I mean, if they treated the kid bad and made him grow up in that environment, then that's one thing. But if sometimes it's just like a parent that's like, I didn't know what he was doing. Like, sometimes it'd be older parents. They're like, I don't even know what that music is saying. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I can't hear it. Yeah.
Ghost, the most famous ghost in America, it's right here.
Casper.
The Bell Witch. Well,
oh, yeah.
All right, you went a different direction, but
sorry.
The Bell Witch. which, you know the Bell Witch?
Mm-mm.
Her name was Kate Batts, and she's, very close to like 30 miles from here.
Yeah.
Probably.
You can go over there.
Yeah, there's been movies made about it. Some people think the Blair Witch was kind of part of that came from her story, but she haunted this family in the 1800s, and you can still go do a tour there now. Andrew Jackson supposedly went there.
Did they get to the bottom of like, I like the, she's been haunting this family for so long, but did they get to the bottom of like why, what her problem
I
is?
think John Bell cheated her out of some land, maybe.
Mm.
That was the dad of the house, and she really messed with him. She ended up poisoning him, and I think one of his daughters she really didn't like and messed with her.
Did he die
I think so, yeah.
from the poisoning from the witch?
I think so.
So she was alive, and they said she was a witch, but she was just like a neighbor.
No, when she was alive, she was just a regular person, I think.
Yeah.
named Kate Batts. And then after she died, I think she came back and haunted him supposedly because maybe
he got poisoned. And back then they just go, that makes sense. It's the witch. And then his wife lived a happy life because she poisoned her husband and said, these idiots think it's a witch. I'm not saying I want it to be a witch, but it's kind of crazy. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
So he got poisoned and he died.
I believe so.
And no one...
He had paralysis in his mouth. They think now probably it was Bell's palsy, but at the time they thought she gave it to him.
Well, this makes a lot more sense. So what was the poisoning?
I think that's something separate.
Yeah.
In 1986, a staff writer for the Tennessean and a photographer visited the Bell Witch Cave, which you can still go to today. Yeah. And they saw so many weird things going on and heard so many weird noises. They left. They would not stay for the night.
So that was at night when they went.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go to Bell Witch Cave and stay for the night. Would y'all go?
That's the new Krispy Kreme challenge.
Yeah. Would you do it?
I would do it 100%.
I would love it.
100% I'd do it.
Maybe we can do it. Maybe we can set it up and they'd let us go do it.
Maybe.
Even Bell Witch people listening.
Mm-hmm.
People got to run that place, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they, and we're not going to tell you when we're doing it because I don't want a bunch of people showing up
scared
just
us.
making it worse. Yeah. I'm trying to handle that night to begin with, and I don't want a bunch of folks just coming down banging on this cave. And I'm like, Brian runs out with his shirt off, covering his chest. He goes, I can't do it.
No, you just hear a weird noise. And then
Dude, if Brian came out of the cave with no shirt on, and you're like, he slept with no shirt on in there, like with just us, and like he's sleeping like he's normal sleeping. We're sleeping in jeans and a coat, and Brian gets ready for real bad. He has to bring a generator to plug his CPAP machine in, and he goes, "All right,
extension
good night."
cord that runs the Springfield.
Yeah, runs the Springfield. That's how they find us. Yeah. And he goes, "Good night, everybody," and he says, "Good night, folks." And you're like, "Just go to bed, man. We're all in here."
Got a nightcap.
Yeah. I say, I wonder if we can do that. If some reason, if someone from Bell Witch is listening, will they let us go stay there? Or we try? I don't know if you can stay there, or if you can though.
I don't know if you can either.
Yeah. If not, we'll just go visit it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
A couple more ghosts. The Lady in Red of Huntington College. This is in Montgomery, Alabama.
Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh, you know this?
I know. Yeah, the Red Lady.
The Red Lady. Okay. Well, she was from New York.
Mm.
She went to college in Alabama. Her parents sent her. She didn't like Alabama, and so she didn't.
Who does?
She didn't fit in there.
My wife. She's from there.
Me. I'm from there too.
Aaron's from there.
No. Yeah.
All right,
I
he
can't
still
turn it
likes
down. I
it.
can't turn it
Yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah.
Still feels good.
Yeah, it still feels
good.
good. Even when it's against you, you're like, I kind of like it. I like this guy. Yeah.
This guy's a lot of fun.
Everyone tried to befriend her, but she just didn't fit in there. And
I doubt that part of the story.
Yeah.
Everyone tried to invite her to stuff, and she just.
Where's she at? We killed her. But, I mean, we were, asked her to go out with us. She just never wanted to.
Yeah.
Her father was the lobster claw guy. Yeah.
Lobster Boy.
Lobster boy.
So she ended up jumping out of a window and killing herself. And but now she roams the school there.
Well, I definitely don't believe you don't do that if everybody's going, we were trying to make her come out and hang out with us.
Yeah.
Where were they at?
Huntington College in Montgomery,
Yeah.
Alabama. And so they have her dorm room blocked off.
Yeah.
And it's like a historical site on the college now.
Can you go
really?
see it?
Wow.
You can go, but you can't live there now, obviously. in
Nate
that
wants
room.
to sleep there. He wants to sleep every haunted place for one night.
And a
Dude, I would
girls'
go
dorm.
look at haunting stuff. I love the idea of haunting stuff. I'll watch that stuff.
How about she jumps out of the window in a red dress and guy just walks by and goes, "Roll Tide."
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess she was really a fan.
Roll Tide.
If there
And
are
then
any,
then the guy's like, worry. And then they fight about it. And then what if the guy that poisoned that tree becomes a ghost?
Harvey Updike.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just got too much Bama in me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you heard this guy?
Uh-uh.
He's a crazy Alabama fan. He poisoned some trees and like
Not some trees. So Auburn has
Yeah.
a main tree in the
Killer's
after the it's a famous thing,
Mhm.
and it's a big tree, been there for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And they would roll it with toilet paper after every win, and I think every win.
Yeah.
And then so it was a big tradition. It's
Yeah.
been going on forever,
Right.
and Auburn beat Alabama, and an old man that's a big Alabama fan went and poisoned the tree,
That's
and it's gone.
crazy.
The tree's gone.
Who
now.
loses a football game and goes, "Time to go see an arborist"?
What's his
Yeah.
name? That guy.
Harvey
Harvey
Updike. Not to defend him, but his argument was they had disrespected Paul Bear Bryant by taping a Scam Newton jersey to, as he calls it, a Cam
Yeah.
Newton jersey to the statue of Paul Bear Bryant. So he said, "I'm gonna repay that by
Doing something
poisoning the
worse.
trees."
So-
Poison the tree.
Yeah, it's like so you cut the like I would think I look at that as being like Scam Newton or whatever. Scam Newton's against him.
Well, yeah, he's an Alabama fan. Auburn fans taped a Scam.
what they call it,
He
Cam
called
Newton.
he
calls
called it a Scam
Newton.
Newton jersey. It was
Oh.
a Cam Newton jersey.
Yeah, yeah. But you want to go, that's the point of shenanigans in college.
Yeah.
And this is why you're an adult and you should not be.
Well, he named his kids Bear Bryant,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he has a daughter named Allie Bama.
Yeah.
So it's
This all
clearly
makes sense.
Yeah.
he admits he's
now
like
it's starting to come into focus.
he's like my priorities are not
Right.
right.
Yeah.
He said that
Oh,
in an
yeah.
interview. He's like, I'm not healthy.
Yeah.
Now,
That's
does he go
good.
to
I like
prison
it.
in like a log cabin, or
Yeah.
what do they do to him?
He lives in mud now.
Yeah, he died
Did he?
He did die?
last year. Yeah,
Oh, really?
right after we talked about him on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Did he
Yeah.
go
This
to
was-
did he go
this
to
was him,
prison?
Yeah, he went to prison. He admitted it on Paul Feinbaum's.
Yeah.
British.
That was the only reason no one would have known that the tree was poisoned. He could have got away with it.
Right.
Because how would you ever know that the tree was poisoned? And then he calls and says, I poisoned the
He
tree.
called it the most popular sports radio
Yeah.
show in the South. It was like, let me
Yeah.
tell you what I did.
Yeah.
Right.
How I responded. I poisoned the tree. Yeah. it's
Crazy story.
I think
man.
that's a
Crazy
new
story.
show, Nature Court.
Yeah. You bring the tree in and he's got to talk to the tree, and the tree's got a lawyer, and you have the lawyer stand next to the tree. He goes, you see my tree, the tradition is 100 years. And then that guy's just got to sit over there with his lawyer, and his lawyer's an Auburn grad. And he's like, this ain't fair.
Resurrection Mary is a well-known Chicago ghost. She's also called the Vanishing Hitchhiker. People see her walking down the street. They pick her up to give her a ride. She gets to this cemetery, says, can you let me off here? And then she gets out of the car and she vanishes into the cemetery.
That's pleasant. I'd like to
Yeah.
do that with her. Like, she's like a level-headed ghost.
She's not trying to
Right.
bother you.
Yeah.
She's trying to
She
get.
needs a ride.
She gives you a cool
Yeah.
experience. She's basically like, I give you a
Right.
good time.
But doesn't pay, you know?
That's
Take an
true.
Uber. Take a Lyft.
Yeah. Maybe she started doing that.
We'll visit her too.
Yeah, we'll visit her. We'll pick her up.
So we'll visit Resurrection, the Bell Witch Cave, or if you're a college girl in Montgomery, Alabama, we could come stay at your dorm, right?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. I think that's the order.
Yeah. I'll do one more. The Exorcist, based on a true story. So in the late 1940s, Roman Catholic Church performed a series of exorcisms on an anonymous boy they call him Rolando. He was 14 years old and he was supposedly demonic possessed. The first they called a Lutheran pastor, and he couldn't handle it. So he said, "You need a Catholic priest.
Yeah.
You need a professional."
That's
Yeah.
really great.
That's really great.
That's
He's
really
like, we're not, y'all are kind of cuckoo. You know what I mean? He goes, I ain't ever seen this.
He was all interested at first because he was really into it, and then he was like, "No, you need a Catholic. I can't handle this." So then they call him the Catholic.
He comes in pulls the hose out of his. He's like a professional. Like Catherine like, he doesn't even. He just
Out of the way.
says this stuff. holy Mary, like he's not even really there. He's like, the Lutheran can't handle it, and the Catholic priest is like, if you asked him about it, he's like, maybe I remember that day. I don't know.
During the exorcism, the boy allegedly slipped out of one of his hands of the restraints, broke a bed spring under the mattress, and used it as a weapon, slashing the priest's arms, which that made them halt the first exorcism. And then 2 priests came back, and they observed shaking bed, flying objects, boy speaking in a weird voice.
Can I say that never would have happened if it was a Helix mattress?
Yeah.
Can I bring the sponsor into it?
Yeah.
There aren't arbitrary springs where you could get possessed and then slash a priest.
Yeah.
You know? Unless you put it to that sleep number.
They could make a movie about it. Like you just show the priest walking out and just smoking a cigarette. And you just hear like nonsense behind you, like bah, bah, like yelling. He's like, he sits outside and he goes, all right. And then just he goes back inside. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
As a Catholic myself, these priests had to endure all these scandals, but no one talks about when they show up for an exorcism, they're there and they mean business.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they're not calling anybody else,
Yeah.
They're calling Catholic priests to come in.
Yeah.
Do you guys know of any real exorcisms? As the resident Catholics here?
No, I don't.
No, none like this.
Well, you get any low key exorcisms?
They had like kind of
Like a
they had a
low-key-
kind of witch scenario where it's like, this one kid I grew up with, I always thought it, and we almost killed him, but I started football and then I just got
Aaron's like, none that they made a movie
Yeah.
about, but yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen a few devils come out.
Yeah. Not the famous ones, but I mean, typical stuff, crawl on the ceiling, blah, blah, blah.
We thought
your
this
neck
one kid did.
changes.
Turns out it was the flu.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, they say that a lot of this stuff probably didn't really happen.
Yeah.
It was probably just exaggerated.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Who knows?
Yep.
All right. That it?
So
Yeah.
Halloween's all
Yeah.
about.
It's Halloween all about.
Yeah.
Have fun. Happy Halloween. Have a great time. It's a wonderful time for kids. Dress up. Don't be afraid to be a hobo. That's an old school one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. Do a backstory.
Yeah.
That Mike
Get
says.
creative.
Get creative.
It's a
Whatever
chance to
you
get
are, if you're a
creative. Yeah.
princess, have a backstory.
Yeah.
Why are you this? If you're Cinderella, tell them
Yeah.
and be into it
Mm-hmm.
and be like, I'm this because, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of going as, not to prolong the podcast if you're trying to wrap up, but one of like an ancillary character, like not Cinderella, but I'm one of Cinderella's sisters.
Yeah.
Things were supposed to be going great for me.
Yeah.
And then she just she threw shade.
Yeah. So when they're little, I think it's so hard not to be Cinderella. But if the older if
Yeah.
you're 12, 13, 14, I think that's brilliant. Like start just being be a Ghostbuster, but be the one they fired before the 4 came in. Like,
Mhm.
make up
Yeah.
something
Right.
Yeah.
to be like, oh, you worked with the Ghostbusters? You go, I got let go. Or something. I don't know. That's not the best, but
Fifth Beatle.
the 5th Beatle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter Best,
Pete Best.
Yeah. Pete
Yeah.
Best. And like, just, and then I
who
think
had a good career.
who had a good career.
Really good career.
Yeah. I like that. The Cinderella Sisters is a good
That's
one.
a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Pinocchio, you go as Geppetto. It's like, I
Yeah.
can't control this kid.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
he doesn't want to be real.
Yeah.
You got to be real with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, do a scared
You're
straight.
lying.
You got to be real with me.
Yeah. You're lying all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a good one. If you get like a sibling involved would be great.
Oh,
Jack and the Beanstalk, you're the guy who sold the fake beans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You just look like you're always trying to get away. Like you're. Because everybody's like, God, that bean thing is growing pretty quick. I was like, oh, man, it's kind of crazy. You just walk up to groups and go, I don't know. How about even, man, I wonder who did that. And you walk away. And then the last house, you tell them, like that guy that called in and poisoned the tree, you tell him, I sold the beans.
Let me tell you what I did.
Let me tell you what I
I
did.
drove down from my house about 35 miles from Dadeville. I sold him magic beans. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Yeah.
You got a shirt that says Magic Bean Salesman.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
Wouldn't
I'm a
even
Magic
take
Bean
much.
Salesman.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. If you listen to this, Grand Ole Opry, Ryman, Columbus, Ohio, 27, 28, 29th. Columbus, we have 2 shows. I believe these Grand Ole Opries and Ryman's are close to be sold out. And there's one more Grand Ole Opry November 15th, and it's not far off. So you can still get tickets for that. But big shows for me. These will be some highlights for me to do them in Nashville. And then
I'm with you on those shows.
oh yeah, y'all are both with me.
Yep.
So some Nateland shows.
Yeah.
So if you want Nateland shows, because they haven't gone out a ton with me, and we got a few dates. I've been doing a lot of we're here doing this.
Yeah.
And then I've been bringing a lot of my buddies from New York and stuff like that. So it's been fun. But they will be on these. My dad will be on it. Grand Ole Opry, Ryman, and Columbus, Ohio is all of us and my dad.
That's awesome.
And then you got...
Oh, yeah. Please follow me at Comic Mike V on all social media platforms. ComicMikeV.com on all social media platforms for a link tree. About at Comic Mike V on Instagram and Twitter. MikeVecchione.com for dates. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's like a PSA announcement.
Also,
well done.
my podcast, Mike Vecchione Investigates, available on iTunes, and The Macaroni Rascals, which is a Patreon.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good day at school, everybody. All right. Good night. Or we're saying good night now because it's night, but have a good, whenever you listen to this, have a good rest of that, whatever that is. Thank you, everybody.